Yes. What's going on, people? 12th man is back. The Arsenal Roundabout is back, and this show is going to be lit. Lee Gunner is on his way. Big up to him, and thank you so much for the raid guns. As you can see, everyone's here already for what's going to be a lit show, I'm sure. I've got to be honest with you. Last night is one of the best, or probably the best, night that I've had at the Emirates. Since we have moved there, I did not see that coming. It was absolutely incredible. And it is one that we have to be discussing. We're going to be talking individuals. We're going to be talking Mikel Arteta. We're going to be talking Champions League. And we're going to be talking about the other teams as well, because right now it looks like there's 3 out of the 4 teams that have got 1 foot in the semi-final. Obviously, there's a long way to go, and we have to go game by game. But Barcelona, PSG and Arsenal have had a very good 48 hours or so. So, it has been phenomenal. And it's something that we've got to talk about. Lee's on his way. Egal's in the house. We've got Brandon back on the show. We've got Christian here. We've got DJ B here. And we've got Kenny Ken as well. And do you know what? I'm going to start tonight because there's a lot that I wanted to say. And it can start with Mikel Arteta. You can go on to the players. But actually what I want to start with is the fan base. Because last night, that was electric, mate, in that stadium. It was lit from minute 1. When the scarves come out, when the bags were held, when North London Forever chimed, when the players came out, when it kicked off, it was just complete, continuous, electric atmosphere, which is what, let's be real, we've needed at the Emirates probably for quite some years. And we've had it in the last couple, but it's been this season, I'm sure DJ and Kenny will agree, and those of you guys that have been this season would agree, it hasn't always been fantastic this season, and it hasn't been much that we've had to cheer for. But there certainly weren't any tickets going on ticket exchange. It certainly weren't like Arsenal Fulham. It weren't like Arsenal Shakhtar, or let me think of another Club Brugge name that people might go, roll their eyes for, maybe PSV. This one right here was what all the Gooners wanted to go and watch. And you could tell the atmosphere was unbelievable in the concourse before and after the game. It was even better. After the game, it was lit. Everyone jumping for joy. Everyone could not quite believe their eyes. And Arteta and the players have done that. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say that Declan Rice deserves all the praise and Arteta deserves all the praise and we need to big up just Lewis-Skelly. Let's big them all up, because for me, every single one of them deserves praise. I'll start with the manager. Spot on. Question marks over his team selection with Kivior and Lewis-Skelly. Question marks over starting with Marino after Trossard looked pretty good in some people's eyes against Everton. Question marks into whether he could get the balance in midfield in a fairly droppable, some people are saying, Martin Odegaard. And I thought personally, he was spot on. I thought the way that we set up, I thought the way that we respected Real Madrid, but actually didn't really mind having to go at them, comes down to the manager. And then we come to the players. Declan Rice, phenomenal. Thomas Partey, one of the best I've seen him. Timber, name me a better one-on-one defender right now. You won't find one. He's absolutely exceptional, this guy. ACL injury, Yeah. And the consistent performances from him. Saliba, one of the games I've seen from him where I actually looked at him as a leader yesterday. It was as if he was thinking, Gabriel's out, I'm going to take the armband here. Because for me, Saliba was outstanding yesterday as well. Lewis-Skelly, yeah, he's ticking off his first team. He's ticking off his England cap. He's ticking off his debut. He's ticking off his goals. Now he's delivering in the Champions League game. And not just one against PSV, one against Real Madrid. And then we come to the front line. And let's be real, Saka and Martinelli weren't outstanding by any means. But Saka created both fouls for the goals. Martinelli was exceptional when called upon in terms of his threat towards goal. And I've got to big it up to Mikel Marino, because that's now 6 goals in 10 games. Kind of proves that we're not missing Kai Havertz, in my opinion. But I don't want to go down the negative road tonight. Mikel Marino, that was a finish. If that's, I don't know, one of the Isaks of this world or Haaland, we're talking about it being quality. That was an unbelievable finish for someone who's not a striker. Yeah. Declan Rice, boom. That's a bad boy free kick, and the second one's even better. I can't believe what I saw last night. I never saw it coming. If somebody would have told me it was 3-0, I'd have gone, oh no, what, to Real Madrid? I never would have had Arsenal 3-0. No way would I have had Arsenal 3-0. So, look, Egal, you have always had faith. You've always had confidence. Lee will be here, and I'm sure you've got questions for him. But I'm sure you've got questions for some of the panel and some of the chat as well. You get a lot of stick in here, bro. And you've got to enjoy and have a smile on your face last night, bro.
Yeah, you know what? I get a lot of stick for doing combined 11s, but it seems to me that people who keep giving me stick about these combined 11s don't really watch Real Madrid. Because the way they're speaking about Camavinga, like he's the next coming of Zidane, or he's this amazing midfielder. He didn't even last the full 90. Declan Rice, on the other hand, showed why he's worth 100 million. You got people all going on Filthy Fellas and all these other channels talking about Declan Rice is not all that. Are we acting like this guy's a 100 million pound player when he's a 40 million pound player? He showed why he's a 100 million pound player. He stepped up big time. 2 free kicks in a Champions League quarterfinal versus Real Madrid in that level. Honestly, I think the Emirates has never seen a better free kick in their days. I don't think there's ever been a better moment from an individual player in an Arsenal shirt in a while. That was not a Mickey Mouse club. We did this versus Real Madrid. And I think a lot of you guys looked at them having 15 on their badge and made that deem that is more important than the quality and the skills of some of the players on the pitch. I think as our own fans would call you delusional to say, oh, we would beat them, let alone win 3-0. And yeah, Declan Rice, shout out to Declan Rice. Then we go on to the next couple players. There's a couple players we need to talk about. We spoke about Declan Rice. Bukayo Saka. Eat your words, Lee, about Rodrigo and Saka. Because Saka showed Rodrigo, showed Jude Bellingham, showed Vinicius, showed Mbappe, all levels. The attack, who is the most threatening player in the attack out of those four Real Madrid players and Bukayo Saka? It was Bukayo Saka. And you know something? I think he doesn't get enough credit for how good he actually is. It took this kind of level of match where he's going up against superstars for people to realize how dangerous he is and how good he is. If Arsenal had a striker, that would have been 5-0 easy because the amount of chances Bukayo Saka created in that game, he showed why he's one of the best wingers in the world. And we talk about Yamil Yamal, we talk about Vinicius, we talk about Salah. Bukayo Saka's up there with the best of them. And I think people need to stop this whole stuff about, trying to discredit how good he actually is. He's up there with the best. Now, moving away from Bukayo Saka, Mikel Moreno, shout out to him doing what he's been doing. Now, it just goes to show you that Arsenal, when we do end up getting a center forward in the summer, how much we can still improve from where we currently are. This Mikel Arteta is doing magic right now. He's been able to do it with Mikel Moreno at striker, Gabriel Magalhaes out of the team, Kivior coming in, the squad depth that DJB was talking about last week, showing up against Real Madrid. It just goes to show you we do have some squad depth. We just need to play the players in the right positions and give them an opportunity to prove everybody wrong. And when they step up, they step up. This was now an amazing performance from the entire team. But there's one last person I want to big up, and that person is Lewis-Skelly. 18 years old, stepping up to that level of opponent. I'll tell you something. If Lewis-Skelly was on Real Madrid's side of the pitch, they might have had a better opportunity to slow down Bukayo Saka, because the amount of work he was doing forward up the pitch, he made their attacking players have to track back. He made their attacking players have to actually do some work and get back defensively, because he was putting so much pressure in the final third. He was carrying the ball. I think he might be good enough to start in the midfield eventually for Arsenal, because the way that he was playing, driving from deep, Lewis-Skelly showed at the age of 18 what he's made of. And yeah, no negativity today. I just had to take my shot at Lee for a second. But yeah, man, honestly, everyone should be happy. Everyone should be gassed. And also, last thing we got to say is, what phase is Arteta in? Because you always say whenever anybody has a big game versus another opponent, Arteta absolutely humiliated Real Madrid's legend of a manager, Ancelotti, one of the best managers in the world. And I had Real Madrid fans telling me before the game that Ancelotti was not doing so well this season. He was struggling, and that they would rather have Arteta this season than Ancelotti, because they feel like Arteta is a better manager at this moment in time than Ancelotti is.
Oh, Egal, man, you always go one step, don't you? You always keep.
No, he was doing so well, wasn't he?
This is what Real Madrid fans are telling me. They're telling me Ancelotti's washed, and at this moment in time, Arteta is a better manager than Carlo Ancelotti.
Okay. Well, Lee, before you come in, big
No,
up
let
to
the
you.
other guys go first. I came in last. Let the other guys go first.
Big up for a couple of things. Big up for the raid to you, my guy. And big up to Rance as well, man, because Rance is raided as well. What a ledge. Thank you so much, Rance. Really appreciate it, man. There's 1.6K in here already, people. That's insane. Please make sure you do me a favor. Hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Let's get us up to 37K. We literally need about 50, I think, to get to 37. So let's get that done tonight, people. All you've got to do is hit like and subscribe. Make sure you're following every single one of these guys on their social media handles here. Christian, let me bring you in next before I go to Brandon, Kenny, and DJ, and then I'm going to let Lee go because there's going to be a lot of pointers, I think, that is going to be sent towards Lee in this
Oh,
stream.
wait, I forgot one more thing.
Go on, Egal.
Odegaard. You guys think ghost to guard. The real ghost on the pitch was Jude Bellingham. Remember that. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I remember that.
Christian, I'll let you go, my bro. Come on.
I mean, Egal said a lot of good things. I'm just trying to enjoy it, man. For real. Like, it's been a long time coming. It's not often. It hasn't been often in the Emirates era that we've got to enjoy nights like this. Barcelona 2-1 was probably the last one. But what a night, man. I was at Box Park for the watch along and the vibes. I took my dad and my best friend.
Oh, nice.
Watched the game together. Didn't get a ticket to the game, but just to watch it with other fans, friends, family. It was amazing, man. This is why we all love football. I'm not trying to come on here tonight and say, you said this, you were wrong, because I get it. I understand people's opinions. I understand people's critiques and criticisms and whatever they say is opinion. But last night, you got to admit, that was serious, man. That was a serious performance from what I think is a serious team that's had a lot of adversity this season, but that is still quality. There is so much quality in this team. So I say it every time I come on a stream, every time I do a video. There is so much to love in this team. I could go through every single player, yeah, and just highlight the good that they've done this season, the good that they did last night, and the manager, Mikel Arteta. I think you've got to big him up. People saying that he's got no chance, that we're going to get battered, that he's a shit manager. No shit manager beats Real Madrid 3-0. Just doesn't happen. So anyone saying he's a shit manager, shouldn't be Arsenal manager, just look at last night. Look what he pulled out against a top quality opposition that people are saying, yeah, they've been poor this season. But people also said when it comes to the Champions League, they're a different beast. Well, that was Champions League last night. That was quarterfinals of the biggest competition. Where were they? I saw 3-0. Yeah, I saw Saka balling out. Yeah, this guy's been back for 3 games. I thought he had a quiet first half, maybe first 30 minutes. After that, the guy turned up, man. He was cooking Alaba. I thought he put a couple good balls across that he could have had 2 assists if someone got on the end of them. Then, like you say, he won the 2 fouls that led to 2 free kicks from Rice. I didn't see Rodrigo. Rodrigo was up against an inexperienced 18-year-old. He didn't do nothing. What did he do? Seriously. I did a combined 11. I said Saka's better than Rodrigo. People call me crazy. Where was he last night? This guy's supposed to be a big game player, supposed to turn up. I only saw one serious right winger on that pitch last night. I'm not saying Rodrigo's a bad player. I rate him. But he's not as good as Saka. You've got to be serious. I got to big up Timber. I think Timber was quality. I think if Rice, for me, take away the 2 goals from Rice, because he's man of the match for the 2 moments, the 2 goals, right? But minus the 2 goals, I thought Timber, for me, was man of the match. I thought he was phenomenal. Vinicius, I don't think, beat him once. There was one time Jude kind of got the ball off him, played the ball, and Mbappe had that chance. But apart from that, I thought he was faultless, going forward, defending, just on the ball. I thought he was incredible. Miles Lewis-Skelly, big up Saliba as well. I think we've just got so used to Saliba playing at a high level that no one really even has really spoke about him last night. He's just always at a 7, 8 out of 10. So it's nothing new. But to have Kivior next to him, so he's kind of got to worry about what Kivior's doing. He hasn't got Gabriel. And he still played at a ridiculously high level. Big up Saliba. Declan Rice, free kicks. I thought Partey. I don't think enough people are talking about Thomas Partey, man. This guy is so good. At the start of the season, I was saying maybe it's time to move him on. But the levels that he's been at this season, he's got better and better. This is a guy that's an injury-prone player as well. To stay fit this whole season and keep upping your level, to last night playing against Real Madrid on the biggest stage, to play at the level he did, for me, he dictated the game. Yeah, man, who else do we want to talk about? Mikel Merino. I don't think it was his best game. I thought apart from the goal, I thought there was a few times where he kind of got on the ball, lost it, should have held it up a bit better. But a big moment. A big moment again. We've seen him do it for Spain in the semi-final of the Euros. Now we're seeing him do it in the Champions League. He's done it for. He's how many goals he's
Better
scored now?
finisher than Kai
7, 8
Havertz,
goals.
any Christian? Better finisher than Kai Havertz.
Mate, I'd say, of course, he's a better finisher than Havertz. Most
He is.
Premier League players are better finisher than Havertz. But yeah, big up Marino, man, for that moment. Martinelli, I thought, was the quietest out of our attackers. But again, you want to talk about work rate. You want to talk about constantly going at a defender. I thought Trossard was good when he came on. And it was an amazing night, man. Amazing night to be an Arsenal fan. And look, hopefully we go on, get the job done in Madrid, move on to the semi-final.
Listen, I'll come to you, Brandon. You obviously weren't there, but you said to me off air, I'd love to have been there. It must have been amazing. Talk to me, bro.
Well, Dan, I think the majority of us went into the game with no expectation. I mean, for me personally, going into the game, I was thinking, just don't get battered. Do you know what I mean? I weren't really thinking that Arsenal could go and do what we did last night. I don't think anybody was. You know, I don't even think Egal was expecting 3-0. Do you know what I mean? So what we saw last night was unbelievable, really. Let's be honest. You know, but now it's funny how expectations change, because now I expect us to go through. I expect us from this position to go through now. You know, 3-0 up. Going to the Bernabeu. Listen, if there's one team that can just shut Real Madrid out, you know, we have one of the best defenses in Europe. There's no reason why we can't go to the Bernabeu and shut Madrid out. And there was a few subtle differences that I noticed last night, right? The lineup was pretty predictable. You know, I think we all predicted that Mikel Arteta would go with that lineup. I think there are a few things that you can credit him for. You know, a lot of people were saying, don't play Kivior. You know, Kivior can't really be trusted. He stuck by him and he had a very good performance, apart from a few dodgy spells in the first half. I think he grew into the game really well. I thought he was, you know, really, really good alongside Saliba. A lot of people were saying, don't start Marino. You know, maybe play Ethan on the left and Martinelli up front, Saka on the right. He stuck with Marino, you know, and Marino came up with a third goal, which, you know, could be the difference between Arsenal going through and not going through, you know. So, big moment from him. But the difference, the major difference, and me, Lee, Kenny, you know, yourself, Dan, we always talk about this. Mentality. Yeah? Mentality. Remember back in the day when Arsenal had the likes of Vieira, Henry, Bergkamp, etc., and people used to just look at our players in the tunnel and go, game over already, before we'd even kick the ball, yeah? We could have done that last night. We could have looked over at Vinicius, Mbappe, Rodrigo, you know, all these Champions League winners, multiple Champions League winners, and go, shit, you know, and shit the bed, basically. But the way we played last night, we showed them, man, no respect. Zero respect. From minute 1 to minute 95, we was on it. Press, moving the ball quickly. How many times have we said this season? Arsenal need to start moving the ball quickly. 1 touch, 2 touch. Yeah, why are we taking 5, 6, 7, 8 touches, getting to the byline and then coming backwards? You know? So another difference that I noticed last night was it wasn't all about the system for a change. The players in the attacking areas and the midfield areas actually had freedom to do what they wanted to do. You know, I wasn't watching Saka get to the byline, come backwards. Martinelli get to the byline, come backwards. Keep the ball, guys, keep the ball. I wasn't hearing none of that. It was just do your thing. Yeah, and when you give the players freedom like they had last night, that's what you get. You know, we went after Madrid last night and they couldn't cope with us. They could not cope with us. I thought going into the game, it was very key that we won the midfield battle. I think we won the midfield battle by a country mile in the end. You know, Luka Modric, he's 39 now. He's still a top quality player, could still find a killer pass if needed. But you could just see how much Arsenal's pressing took its toll on him in particular. Jude Bellingham didn't really see the guy. You know, I've got to be honest. Camavinga lost his head at the end and gets himself sent off, although he would have had to miss the second leg anyway. Mbappe, what did he really do? Yeah, he had 1 or 2 half chances in the first half, but apart from that, we shut that guy out. You know, the way we nullified them and brought our game as well was sensational. It really was. The 2 free kicks as well. I mean, the first free kick was top, but that second free kick, I don't think I've ever witnessed
No.
personally a better free kick. Obviously, you know, people will talk about Roberto Carlos, etc., etc., but that free kick was just absolutely phenomenal, and for a number of reasons, really. You know, he's just took the first free kick. What, 10 minutes prior to that? Courtois knows what's coming, and the audacity to go the goalkeeper's side as well, and the pinpoint accuracy. You could literally put 10 goalkeepers in that goal. They're still not saving that. You know, the power, the accuracy. And the only thing that I can say now is, Odegaard, you're off free kick duty, mate. Yeah, Declan Rice is taking free kicks from now on. That is it. Yeah, we don't want no more pillow foot. Yeah, just let Declan Rice smash them, right? And look, going to the Bernabeu is going to be difficult. But what I want to see, and it's going to be very important because people are bigging up the manager for yesterday, and rightly so, and of course the players. But what I want to see at the Bernabeu is us do a similar thing. Go to the Bernabeu and don't show them any respect. We're 3-0 up. Yeah, play your game. Don't do this park the bus FC and sit back, because I think if we do that and we allow Madrid to come at us, then we're asking for trouble, really, because they have got quality players. Yeah, let's not pretend that last night means that Real Madrid are no longer this team with multiple Champions Leagues, this team with absolute quality around the pitch, right? It's 3-0, and I expect us to go through, but they can turn this around if we do not turn up with the same mentality, the same attitude, the same energy as what we put in last night. But yeah, gobsmacked about last night, Dan. That's all I can say. I had to pick my jaw
We
up
all
off
were,
the
bro.
floor, really.
We all was, bro. I couldn't
I
believe
did,
it.
bro.
It was mad. And
And
look, Kenny,
just lastly,
go on.
Miles Lewis-Skelly, right? I wouldn't have personally started him last night going into the game because he's had 1 or 2 hairy moments, you know, where he's given away or he's made silly errors in terms of his defensive side of his game. And I'm thinking, you're coming up against one of the best wingers in the world. You can't afford to make them sort of mistakes. But he was excellent last night, not just in the way that he defended, but the guy getting on the ball and driving at players. You know, we've been missing that. You know, having somebody who can not only move the ball forward, but and create from that position, like what Zinchenko used to be able to do. But somebody who also drives at players, who ain't afraid to make them long bursting runs, who ain't afraid to take on 2 or 3 man and win a free kick high up. You know, that kid has been sensational since he's come into this Arsenal team, and he's only getting better as well.
it really
And
has.
and also Bukayo Saka, right? People need to remember that Bukayo Saka has literally played 40 minutes against Fulham and 35, 40 minutes against Everton. The guy's been out for 4 months. He's had a grade 3 hamstring injury which required surgery. And then to be thrown into this game against Madrid and have their wing backs on toast is phenomenal, really. Like, the guy's ability is just ridiculous. It really is.
Absolutely. Look, there's everyone tonight, to be fair, could pick out many players. And I actually thought probably Odegaard was the one that was probably less effective in the game. And I didn't think he was shocking by any means. Everyone else I thought was pretty much superb. Kenny, Declan Rice and Thomas Partey, mate. You and I have been speaking about it. You and Andy have been speaking about it. I think Rice is a 6. You think he's better in the 8. I both agree that Partey is an unbelievable number 6. I think last night, kind of what you've been saying come to fruition, mate. I thought Declan Rice was outstanding. Not just the free kicks. I thought his all-round game was unbelievable as well. But Thomas Partey in that 6. I think we might have to keep him for another year, Kenny. He's looking brilliant.
Yeah, probably, but yeah, depends how this season goes. But yeah, as you know, I'm a big Partey fan, and I'm so glad that most of the fan base, in fact, all the fan base, recognise how good he is. If he's injury free, and he turns up, that his performance yesterday was like headline breaking. It was brilliant. Obviously, Rice gets the plaudits. And that's what I've always been trying to say. We play our best football when those two are play together, where Rice plays further up the field, where I think that there's attributes that could be in his game. And Thomas Partey just plays that number 6 where he's the CDM. And that, you can't get a better performance than that. And I think that's where we improved from last season. Last season, one of the things that really got, concerned me was our midfield against Bayern. This time we didn't make the same mistake. We made sure we got our midfield balance, everything right, because there's going to be times when we don't have the ball. But when we have the ball, we always moved it at the right time, play at the right tempo. And those two together can't fault it. Because in the first half, we were struggling a bit, where Real Madrid were at the sick, have an extra man, but we always made sure we stayed in the game. And then Saka came into the game, and I think that's the game turned is when he had a turn of pace. He had the wood over Alaba and put those crosses in, and that's when we knew we could stretch from Madrid. And then Courtois made those two double saves in the second half. The first goal took the wind out of Real, because after that they started thinking, oh no. They actually thought it was the second leg, so they started leaving space after space, and we just murdered them. Courtois, man of the match performance for them, not during the match for them. If it wasn't for him, I think the game tired being over. He made some saves that defied logic, especially in the second half. Marino should, thought he scored, and this guy just comes out of nowhere. I mean, a few weeks ago we said Alisson's the best guy in the world. Maybe this guy is, but as I said before, the players, man, I've got massive amount of respect for the players. Marino's the one that I have probably the most respect for, because he's one of those players where he doesn't get the plaudits, but he's not his proper position, but to play as an auxiliary striker and do his bit for the team, scoring goals, turning up. Got nothing but respect for him, because I wasn't sure about him, but I think, you know what, to just, perform that when it's not your best position, he had my ultimate respect. Also, Timber at right back, wrap him in cotton wool.
Phenomenal, mate. Phenomenal.
We got gold there. There's no criticism of Benjamin White, but when I looked at Timber and I saw him coming to the side, I was really getting angry and called him a left back. That really scared my nose, because I was thinking, hang on here, we got a player that can play at right back, and I'm just so glad that Arsenal fans are getting a chance to see him at right back, because they got gold in their hands. And most importantly, Lewis-Skelly. I mean, bloody hell, who is this kid? Where has he come from, man? You know what I mean? To just come in a position that's not his own and play like that, and he just gets better and better, more and more confidence. He's actually learned from his rash play yesterday, faultless. But you know what? Players, they deserve most of the credit, because at the end of the day, there's a few people who sent me messages and said, "Oh, me and my cronies, we're going to be gutted that about that result." And I was saying, "Hey, mate, hang on, mate. I just come out of the stadium, and I've been at the stadium from about 7:15 to midnight. I didn't leave Islington until midnight, so I wasn't there twiddling my thumbs and defacing the walls because we won. I was celebrating with all the Arsenal fans. I even had a chat with Tamer Hassan. I didn't know he liked Arsenal, but he's Millwall, but his son's there. And I even saw the girl out of Black Panther. I mean, that's what happens when there's a big game. All the celebrities just come out of the woodwork, innit? I didn't see the OnlyFans girl. Actually, I wouldn't notice her. She's only 4'9" anyway. Everyone comes out of the woodwork these days. But all I'm trying to say is that it's only half time. I expect us to go through. The reason why I expect to go through, because I've never seen Arsenal concede anything more than 2 goals this season, and I just hope that I'm not going to jinx us. I'm going to say, look, we know what we've got to do. The onus is on Real. They're the ones who are under pressure. They're the ones who got to deliver. They're the ones who probably not going to win the Liga. Probably going to lose in the Spanish Cup. This is the best chance of winning something. And who knows, man? We just have to make sure we don't concede. Make it difficult and frustrate them, and then they'll maybe they might get a red card, frustrate themselves. Who knows, man? But it's nice to go to Real Madrid with a 3-goal lead, but I would have taken a 1-0 on a clean sheet because I would have had confidence that we would have made it difficult for them. But I'm greedy, mate. 3-0, brilliant.
We're all greedy. They get an early goal, will be a little bit squeaky bum time. Sorry, but I must say I'm fairly quietly confident that even us could not mess this up. Please, my goodness, we haven't conceded 3 goals since I think it's 2022 or something, isn't it? So or 21, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, DJ spoke to you after the game. Don't know what goal was better from Declan Rice, mate, the first one or the second one. Personally, I think it's the second, but I don't really care. We can have that debate all night. He was immense. Arsenal were immense. And you and I got the shock of our lives, mate. Well, we all did. No one on this panel had 3-0. That's for sure, bro.
No, I'll hold my hands up. I mean, I will hold my hands up and said that the first goal was vital. I said that if Arsenal get it, I think we could get something out of the game. And then I said if Real Madrid get the first goal, we'd have to come out, try and nick an equaliser, and then it could open us up. I'm glad we got the first goal, obviously. Listen, they were both quality free kicks for me. I mean, if you're hitting any free kick from now, wherever the ball ends up, I mean, they're both quality in my book. The second one was probably better than the first. But if you look at the first one, the way it sort of swung out as if it was going wide and came back in, that's a skill in itself, man. And big up to Declan Rice for going over to the touchline and saying pretty much, no, I won't be chipping it into the far post. I'll actually be having a crack at goal here. And he ignored the instruction, and I'm glad he did. All round, as the panel's just said, I mean, I'm just going to, just go over. I think Skelly is a huge find for us this season. And it's an option we can use in midfield as well. I think he's a player there that can become a very, very good midfield player for us as well, if we need that kind of attacking threat. And big up Saliba for me, because if you notice what Saliba was doing, he was doing a lot of marshalling that defence. He was very vocal. He was really helping Kivior a lot there, and that showed his quality for a defender as well. Martinelli, when he did get the ball, because we didn't get it out left too many times, but when he did get out, he was positive, took his man on, looked lively, looked bright, got his head up, which is good to see. Saka, what can you say? I mean, he's always the one player that whenever he gets the ball, even when he's not having a good game, he's one of them players that you put in that bracket where you get excited. You kind of, oh, look, something's going to happen. You just know something might happen when he gets the ball. And what he done brilliantly yesterday, what I thought, he knew he'd just come back off of an injury, and he kind of paced himself into the game. He didn't go all guns blazing right from the start. He knew he'd just come back. So what he done was he grew into the game, and then when he felt comfortable and when he felt that everything was all okay on board, he then started to take on Alaba every opportunity, and he done that brilliantly. But for me, if I was to pick a man of the match, it would have to be Thomas Partey. I thought he was just flawless. He got the ball, played it simple, kept the play going. He was always looking forward, and he's been doing that all season. Him and Timber, for me, along with Gabriel, has probably been our 3 key players this season. And what I will say, Dan, if you look at the 2 leagues, we've been in 2 leagues this season. We've been in the Premiership, obviously, and the Champions League. And I think you've got to take your hat off to the manager in the Champions League. I think the way we've played in the Champions League has been a real big plus for us this season. Unfortunately, we haven't played like that in the Premiership, and it's been frustrating at times. But Champions League, I think we've done really well there. I think we've done amazing in the Champions League, and it was just a great performance. The crowd was brilliant. What I was a little bit, I'm still a little bit frustrated with Odegaard, if I'm going to be honest. If there is going to be a little bit of negativity coming out tonight, I don't know what's got into Odegaard this season. I still think if you took the captaincy away from him, it might be a weight off of his shoulders, and he might, show his ability a little bit more. But he wasn't brilliant before the injury, and then when he came back after the knock at Norway, he just hasn't been on it really. And out of a very, very positive night, I think Odegaard probably was our weakest link last night, to be honest. Which is a shame because, as I said, I believe he's got some ability. I don't think he's totally rubbish, but I think he's got some ability, and we're just not seeing that at the moment. And that's a little bit worrying going forward. If he's going to be the captain of this football club, he's just got to show a little bit more for me, and that's just my own opinion. I think as a captain of a club the size of Arsenal, you've got to be on it all the time. You've got to be the man at the front. You've got to lead by the example. And the players that done that yesterday was Declan Rice, Timber, and Partey. They're the ones that led by the example. Unfortunately, Odegaard didn't. And but he done enough. The players done brilliant last night. It was a good performance, great atmosphere. What I will say now, Kenny will agree, supporting Arsenal over the years, and it's not just this manager, it's managers previous to this as well. It is Arsenal, and we're not there yet. And I know we should be, and we just got to take every game as it comes. Enjoy last night, but just keep your feet on the ground, because the Bernabeu can do weird things to players and teams, and we've seen that over the years. And as you just, said, Dan, if they get an early goal, you got to see how we react. So, yeah. I mean, I personally don't think we're going to throw away a 3-0 lead. And then we've got the semi-final, and I've just watched PSG tonight, and they look very, very,
and Barca. Barca battered Dortmund.
Barca as well. I mean, I've not seen the Barca game yet, but I know they've just banned. But I mean, the PSG, they look a very, very tidy side as well. So still a lot to do, but all positives, man. Or really, really good performance.
Massive positives,
and give credit where credit's due. It's great. It was a great night, and that's what, that's the minimum requirement for this football club. That's what we should be doing.
100%. Before I bring you in, Guns, Christian, just quickly, I wanted to ask you, because when we were doing a watch along together, PSV, you made me in Turkish smile when you said Arsenal can win the Champions League. After last night, do you even think that even more now?
Do you think it?
I don't, but I would be lying if I said I was not impressed with our performance individually last night. So I still think that it's a long way to go, but I was very, very impressed, ridiculously impressed.
Of course, man. How can you not be? Real Madrid 3-0. When I said it after that watch along, I was a little bit gassed because we just won 7-1, of course. But I know what this team's capable of, and I know how much quality is in this team. And when I say capable of, people are going to say, what are they capable of? They haven't won anything. I know the quality in this team. Declan Rice showed last night why we paid £100 million for him. Thomas Partey, I think on his day, arguably the second best defensive midfielder in the Premier League. William Saliba, I think he's the best centre-back in the world. People want to say it's Rudiger. He conceded 3 goals last night. William Saliba with a weak left centre-back next to him in Kivior, who also played well, kept a clean sheet against Mbappe, Vinicius and Rodrigo. Yeah, so put some respect on his name. So that's where I think we've got a good chance. I don't think we're favourites. For me, Barcelona are the best team in this competition. Can we beat them on a given day? I think we showed last night that we can beat anyone on a given day. So I've got confidence that we got a good chance, man.
Okay, that's where it is. You back up your opinions each time, and that's why I love getting you on, man. Now let's come into the mud. If we can find Lee, who's swimming in the mud, sinking with his Declan Rice shirt on.
I didn't pay for it either, by the way, because I've seen people say to me earlier, "Oh, I thought you weren't buying merch." My boy Jay and his old man bought me the shirt because I picked him up from Malaga Airport last summer.
Love that, man. Love that. Look, man, I don't know where you want to start. Egal and Christian have obviously brought some.
I'm going to start straight on Egal because the disrespect to the to Camavinga who's won 10 trophies at the age of 22. Yeah, played at 2 different clubs, by the way, not just all at Madrid. He won at Stade Rennais. Yeah, 22. I think you think he's maybe 30. I don't know. But the disrespect because he dropped a stinker, which, by the way, when I watched the whole game back today, which I did, I don't normally do that because they bore me to sleep. Yeah, but that we'll get the negative stuff out of the way first, and then I'll get on to the mad positives. Yeah, right. The disrespect for that geezer, yeah, is wild. The only player that was hiding yesterday was our captain. Every time he gave the ball to Saka, and I was doing it on the watch along. We've all watched the game. Some of you in the ground, some of you on TV. Some of you watch football differently to how I watch it, and now me and Matty and Ola watch it. We sit and pick out a player and watch him for 3 minutes. On the 42nd minute, I sat there and said to the lads, watch him for 3 minutes till half time. Every time he got the ball, he passed it to Saka and run away from him. Now he's hiding behind 3 players. Can't give him the ball back. Now Saka's got 3 players around him. The only option he's got is pass backwards or sideways. Right? He does it every game and he's been doing it for years, but nobody really hears that because 29 bail us out. Saka a ping one top bins. Martinelli a score. Yeah. Odegaard might get the odd goal in the game. Yeah. So it's all brushed under the carpet. Not only that, since yesterday, since we won that game, people like myself and others have been getting clowned, yeah, for them doing exactly what I and others want us to do. Look how happy everyone is. Everyone's buzzing. We're all buzzing that we slapped Real Madrid. None of us see that coming, by the way, right? And we're getting clowned for that and being told it takes time. Well, it don't. It don't take time, does it? Yeah, because we've seen Real Sociedad go and bang 4 past them this season. Yeah, let's be real with it. They banged 4 past them and had them on the ropes last week.
One thing, Lee, just sorry to cut you off, man. But I said that last week. I said Sociedad scored 4 against them. And you said to me, but what did they do? They came back.
I actually
but now you're bringing up Sociedad.
No, hold on. No, because if you're going to quote me properly. I actually said, how many are we going to score at the Bernabeu? That's what I said, and you didn't answer.
You said
we can rewind the stream from last week.
Scored 4, and you said, yeah, but they came back and beat them.
They did.
They still won. Rudiger.
So let's not pretend it's not half time yet. Because if there's any team in the world that can score 3 goals against
them,
if you let me finish, I've sat here for 40 minutes quiet and let you all speak. Yeah, right, listening to everything you said. Right, if there's any team in the world, right, and we ain't turning this into a League Gunners negative one, I ain't doing that. Right, because that's how I get painted every day. That ain't happening. Couldn't care less. I've played the villain for 5.5 years under this manager, mate. Lee's negative. Guess what? I turn up, win, lose, or draw every day. Every day. When we lose, I don't see all these idiots in my chat. Yeah, I never see them. When we win and we beat Man City, they all rock up. Yeah, I don't see them when we lose to West Ham at home. Don't see them when we're getting knocked out the cup by Newcastle and Man United. Yeah, so excuse me if I'm going to have my say in it. So anyway, as I was saying, Real Sociedad bagged 4 past them. Leganes scored twice past them. They've been shit all season. However, they are Real Madrid, and that came out of nowhere. That is the worst performance, and I've watched nearly all their games. That is the worst performance I've seen them have all season, and that is our best performance of the season. So when you couple both of them together, that's why we banged them. They were fucking awful. After about the first 10 minutes, yeah, I think we're a bit nervous. First 10 minutes, Kivior slipped over. Saliba, luckily it was offside, but he missed anyway. What was the other one? Oh yeah, Jude cooked Timber and put it on a plate for Mbappe. He should have scored. After that, they didn't really do anything. Yeah, that could have been 6. That could, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah. My point is, when we come to the disrespect of other players, and I'm going to get onto all the positives about players that played well, yeah? When we disrespect Camavinga, he's won 10 trophies, bro. Yeah? And he's 22 years old, right? Rodrigo's just turned 24. He's won 13 trophies. So when we're disrespecting him off of the back of 1 performance, well, how many times have we seen Saka not turn up in games? How many times have we seen Martinelli not turn up? Odegaard did nothing last night. We were playing with 10 men. So basing it off of 1 game and forgetting the history of these players, yeah, they've had a shit season. They've been in 4 finals and they're still 4 points off the top of the league and they've still got to play Barca. They're in a final at the end of the month. So let's just all calm down. Listen, fantastic result. I watched, bro, that's the first time I've watched an Arsenal game back for fucking years. Yeah, for years. Yeah, do you know what? That is the best game of football. And I watch a lot of football. Every time I watch La Liga, that feeling I had last night watching that, yeah, was for my fucking club, our club. Yeah, I ain't had that feeling for years. But if we don't win this competition, it's irrelevant. It's just a good night out. Everyone was happy.
Come on, don't do that.
No. Hold up. Let me land my point. Right? Fantastic result. fully deserve to win. I think we're in the semi. I can't lie. I think we're through. Yeah, best performance all season. A joy to watch because I've watched that trash all season, stinking the gaff out playing for corners. Yesterday, we actually played football. And the fact that Declan Rice absolutely outed our captain and set-piece coach, well done, mate. Back cross it. Fuck off. I'm having a shot. And if that's been in his locker the whole time, why is Pillowfoot taking free kicks since Declan's got it? Right? His corners are on point. Yeah, and them 2 goals. That first one was ridiculous. Ridiculous. The second one's the best free kick I've seen for years. And I've seen a lot of free kicks watching all these other leagues and Copa Americas and Euros and all of this and that, yeah? Absolutely unbelievable. And I'm gutted it weren't 4 or 5. I can't lie, because they were there for the taking last night. I could have been buried in the first leg. Yeah? From get-go, yeah, like I said, we're a bit nervous. Yeah? After that, absolutely fucking hammered them. Yeah? And rightly so, everyone's gassed. Absolutely. But when you come here tonight and start giving, oh, but Lee said this and Lee said that, bro, why is your first fault me? Yeah, you've just had the best feeling you've had supporting Arsenal for years, right? In the Champions League for God knows how long, since Barca, you said, wasn't it? The 2-1. Well, what happened in the second leg, by the way? Just to let you know.
We got robbed.
Well, we still didn't go through.
In that second leg, Van Persie.
Well, we did.
Our team couldn't defend like this.
Okay, that's fairs. That's fairs. However, yeah, other than last night, we don't really score like that either. Yeah, unless it's PSV and Man City falling off a cliff. We don't really go out and bag this season like we did last season. I'm not saying they're going to go and beat us up and go through. I don't think they will. They look shot to pieces last night. That has fucked their mentality up. And then seeing Barca go out tonight and slap up Dortmund 4-0. Yeah, I think they're finished this season. I can't lie. Yeah, and everyone knows how I rep Real Madrid. If they manage to pull something out the bag, then fair play to them. However, the difference between what happened last night and what's happened previous to that, yeah, you're all sitting there, all of us are sitting here, absolutely gassed that we won that football match, whilst clowning people like me, yeah, for the last fuck knows how many years under this manager for wanting that exact feeling. Yeah, don't we want better? Don't we want to have that feeling every time we play a football match? Go out there and absolutely embarrass the best team in Europe, or the biggest club in Europe, the best club in that league, in that Champions League. Don't you want to do that every year? Because I do, and that's why I kick off about this football club letting us down time and time again. Because we lost to West Ham. Yeah, we lost to Villa last season. It cost us a title. West Ham the season before, Saka missed a penalty. Yeah, we lost other games that season, Fulham's and all of this shit. Now we know we can go out there and do what we did yesterday. And that is why I get the ump, because we're that close to being fucking good. With or without this manager, whatever. Yeah, I don't think he's the man, and I don't think we'll win the tournament. If he does win the tournament, build him a statue outside the ground. Yeah, and I'll go and have a selfie stood next to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, at the same time, right, I swear down, yeah, if he doesn't win the tournament from here now, then that's just a great night and a memory we can go back to, like when Henri shushed them back in the Bernabeu and that. We didn't win it that year. Fantastic night out. Yeah, irrelevant wins that don't lead to nothing are irrelevant apart from you had a good time. We have to win the trophy now. It's the only competition we got left. Yeah, we ain't winning the league. For me, drop everyone at the weekend, make Martin Odegaard start the game. Yeah, don't take him out to the Bernabeu because he'll fucking shit the bed. That's why they sold him. Yeah, to us. Yeah, bye-bye. He's now on 240 a week, and I'm hearing people say, oh, well, he's just low on confidence. Bruv, check his bank balance. I'm pretty sure he ain't. Like, get out of here. Excuse. That's the only negative for me, is it?
You're quick to sit here and give excuses for a guy in Camavinga who got sent off, who you said is better than...
Brother, he's won 10 trophies. You can't chat to the man.
1 second. The guy who you're wearing on your shirt, in the front of your shirt today, we had a debate about Declan Rice and Camavinga. Camavinga gets sent off in a game where he was one of Real Madrid's better players. But
he was one of their worst players. He was one of their worst players.
Declan Rice showed why he's a better player. He's able to impact the game even without
Declan Rice had the game of his life, and fair play to him. However, Camavinga's done this a million times by had games of his life.
On 2 topics. One, you got to revisit that and say, you know what?
I don't. I've watched him for years.
No, 1 second, Lee. No one's disrespecting Camavinga, but I think you need to respect Declan Rice and say, you know what?
I'm sat wearing the fucking shirt. What more do you want?
So big up the guy who's on the shirt instead of bigging up players who don't play for your club.
No. Hold up, because this is what you're not going to do this, by the way.
Don't bring that fake
you're not going to do this.
Bangladeshi Rodrigo to Saka ever again. I'm sorry.
Racismo in the building as well. Jesus Christ.
Don't bring that guy to me ever again.
Wow.
Don't bring that guy to me ever again.
Wow, this is crazy.
That guy, what do you call it? Rodrigo is not on the same level as Bukayo Saka. We see
Okay,
them
cool.
for
So
90
I fully
minutes.
expect
He did nothing.
this summer. No, he didn't. And I said that all through the game. What are you missing here? I've just said a minute ago. They
No,
were
because
crap.
you're quick to sit here and big up guys because they've won 15 Champions Leagues and they've won a bunch of trophies. But talent
And
is
you're
talent.
quick to big up a
And-
player
and-
for scoring
and
2
just
free
because-
kicks in one
just
game,
because-
which
just
we all
because
have.
you've-
Fantastic. But
Just
now go and
because
win it.
just because you've won all these awards in a great team doesn't make you 1v1 a better player than the other player.
It's a
It
good
doesn't.
point.
Okay.
Can I just say, I think if
Fantastic,
Declan Rice
whatever.
played for Real Madrid for the past 4 years, 5 years, however long Camavinga's been, how long's he been there? He would have won just as many trophies.
2021 he got there.
All right, 4
August
years. He would have
21.
won just
Saka
as
would
many
be a better
trophies.
player.
If Saka played for them instead of Rodrigo, I think he would
Yeah,
have won
but
just
this
as
is
many
the point.
trophies.
Why don't they play
This
for
is-
them? Because they didn't sign them.
Huh?
Why don't they play for them? They didn't sign them, bro. They could have signed Declan Rice. They got the money. Why didn't
But
they sign him?
That's not the point.
Tony Cruz left this summer. Why didn't they buy him?
He could still end up there.
Well, wait, he's going to be there on Wednesday next week, to be fair. They might go, actually, come here, mate. We'll show you around.
Would you swap Camavinga for Declan Rice?
Yeah, well, actually, I wouldn't. I'd have them both. I'd
No,
have them both, and I'd have them both. Because
Today's
you know
a
what?
completely
No, do you know
different
what? No,
conversation.
if you listen to what I'm saying, Egal, do you know
If you could
what?
only have one,
If I only had one, I'd take Camavinga.
Rodrigo or Saka?
Rodrigo.
What?
Come
Come
on,
on.
Well,
Come
it's
on.
quite clear you lot
Just
don't
watch
watch. It's
Saka
quite
have a better
clear.
game than every single Real
One
Madrid
game. This is what I'm saying. The most recent game
Oh.
is what you guys take this stuff off. Saka was brilliant.
How is
Yeah.
it one game? Saka's been brilliant since he was 17 for Arsenal and brilliant for England.
Rodrigo signed for Real Madrid when he was 18 or 19,
Yeah,
mate.
quality player, but it's not.
So why
brilliant
didn't they
since-
sign Saka then?
Saka's at Arsenal.
Why
Saka's
is all
been
your
at Arsenal
arguments-
No,
since
so
he
my
was
point
18.
is
Yeah,
they're
he
both
wanna
good
leave
players. This is my point. This is my point, yeah? They're
He's
both
just
extremely
taking
good
L on
players.
the topic.
However, which one am I
It's
taking
your
in my
player. It's
team?
still a W,
I'm
you
taking
know, yeah.
Rodrigo. You're taking Saka. That's it. Cool. One's won the Champions League by coming off the bench and bagging twice in
It
2
doesn't
minutes.
matter if you won the Champions League or not. Are
It
you
doesn't
a better
matter.
player
Okay, cool.
individually 1v1? We're talking about a player, not a team. A
Okay.
Champions League is won by a team, not an individual. So when you're comparing two individuals, you can look at their trophies, you can look at their career, but 1v1 talent, who's the better player at their position? Bukayo Saka has shown on the same pitch.
You
one
do
was a
realise he's playing
passenger-
out of position,
One
don't you?
second. One was a passenger for 90 minutes, and the
He
other
was.
one ran the
He was
show and
awful.
was pushing the team forward.
Bro, he was
Bukayo Saka
absolutely
showed more.
awful. I said
Bukayo
it
Saka
all the way
showed
through
more
the
in that
game. I've said it
90
all
minutes.
day
Playing
today on the
against
stream.
18-year-old kids.
And Mbappe, and you still
Yeah.
sitting here talking about Rodrigo. My point
No.
exactly.
I joined this stream and you started off waffling about me, mate. So let's not do that. Yeah. So if you want to waffle
No,
about
come
me,
on,
I'm going to
bro.
go back at you, aren't
We're
I?
talking about
I
the
didn't want to
debates that
come
you
here
have brought
to have a
up
1v1 with you or a 1v1 with Christian. I wanted to come here to celebrate my team. Yeah, putting in the best performance they've had all season and me be happy about it. And all you've done is chat shit.
Bro, this is what you do when we win a game and you talk about Arteta.
We
I
haven't
still
won the
listen.
fucking Champions League, Egal.
Lee, the reason why we're having this discussion, because going into the game, we had discussions about two players, Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice, and how they're inferior to these Real
So on the
Madrid
one-off
players who
game,
won
you were
trophies.
right. Well done. Pat yourself on the back.
So there we go.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Is that what
Admit
you
it.
wanted?
These guys are better than what you think they are.
No.
Yeah, Lee,
No,
you made
they
some
had a
big
great
statements,
game,
man. So you
fantastic, and they fully deserve to get all the plaudits they're getting from all of us. Yeah. However, you just want to be, oh, I was right because Camavinga
No,
dropped a
I've
stinker
never
and
said
Rice
I
scored
was
2
right.
streamers.
I'm just asking you to acknowledge that you maybe got
I've
it
done
wrong.
it all season, saying Saka's a good player. What do you miss
No,
here? I've
nobody's
always said
saying-
Saka's a
nobody's
good
saying
player.
you don't think
I've always
Saka's a
said
good
Rice
player.
is a good player.
Nobody's
However,
saying you don't think Saka's a
they're not as good as them two, in my opinion. That's it.
Okay, so you're gonna die on that.
Can I
hill
just
then.
say
Fair.
And I watched
Can I
them a hell of a lot more than you do, by the way.
100%.
Well, there you go. So I'm more qualified to have
Maybe
my
that's
opinion
why
on
you're
it
disillusioned
compared to
than
you
I am.
watching a couple of games here and there.
Personal opinions on players, though, isn't it? Surely.
I'm
So
not.
that's-
I'm not attached to Real Madrid players. I'm looking
I
at my
think you're
Arsenal
slightly
players,
missing
and I'm
the
seeing
point here.
quality players.
I'm
that
a
are
football
superior.
fan first.
I'm seeing quality in my Arsenal team that is superior in certain areas of the pitch to Real Madrid.
Cool. So there's no
Because
reason
they
not
have
to win the
14
Champions League then.
Because they have 15 Champions Leagues and they've won league titles, Champions Leagues, does not make them a better player.
Yeah,
What
but
makes them a
the
better
man in the
player
chat said, "How's it
is the
turned into
skill
this?"
set
Because he was
and the
chatting shit and he's trying to
And
turn
in
it
my
into
opi-
this
and in my
because he
opinion,
knows I'll bite and go
in
back
my
at him.
opinion, Lee,
And now he's getting his
Lee,
clip in it.
you value individual awards more than talent. That's what you value.
Yes,
so in
but
your opinion,
Egal,
in your
Egal, it's
opinion,
a personal preference.
in your
of
opinion,
players
anybody
suit
who
one
wins,
another.
anyone who wins trophies is more talented than a player that doesn't.
Egal,
That's
you're
what
missing the
saying.
point. You're missing the point.
He's turned up
right?
in big moments to win them trophies for his club. Saka missed a penalty.
And where
mate.
was he yesterday? He
Egal,
needed a big
Egal.
moment. Declan Rice stepped
You-
up. That was a big moment. Bukayo
Cool.
Saka
We'll now
stepped
step up and go and win it then.
Let's see. Maybe we can do it.
Exactly, and that's my point, Egal. Rodrigo,
not
the
only about
disrespect to
that.
him and Camavinga before, and now you're basing it off of one game, which they both stunk the gaff out. They were the two worst players for them, by the way. Yeah, I said this on my watch along. I said it on my fan cam. I said it on the fucking emergency meeting. I said it on my stream earlier today. I said it all the way through the watch along I just come on here from, and I'm saying it here. What part of this are you lot missing? Yeah, I've said he was shit. I've said they were both shit. I said Camavinga was lucky he stayed on the pitch for that long. He should have been hooked off at half time. Yeah, he was shocking. However, yeah, he's still a better footballer than Declan Rice, in my opinion. Declan Rice scored two of the best free kicks I've seen for years. Yeah, what are we doing here? I've said all of this. So why has it turned into this?
That also wasn't
I
even
don't
fully
The
fit.
reason why
Saka,
it's
by
turned
the way.
into this is because the discussion
That's a Saka that's been out with a torn hamstring.
If you want to
wasn't
dead
a fully fit Alaba
if you want
either.
to dead it here, let's dead it here. Let's celebrate.
Guys, wait,
Saka was quality
Let's
though. I've said
celebrate.
this.
But understand. Next time we win a big game and you sit here and say, "Well, Mikel Arteta didn't win the goddamn trophy," it's the same thing. You just don't like it when
Yes.
it flips onto you.
But again,
Win the trophy, Egal.
Again, also, right? I think
You
you're
can't
missing
win the
point
trophy
here,
in
guys.
April, bro. You got to wait until the
Guys,
competition's done.
I think you're
Fantastic.
missing the point here. Yeah.
So you can't enjoy anything.
Let Brandon come in because Brandon's tried about 4 times. Go on, Brandon.
Ability wise, yeah, and I think Lee will agree on this. Ability wise, I don't think there's much difference between the two, Rodrigo and Saka, right? But like there is in every walk of life, yeah, ability only takes you so far. Mentality is also key ingredient to all of it, right? And mentality comes from winning things, especially in football, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. So if Arsenal go on to win the Champions League this season, fair play, we can have that conversation. Yeah. And I get it. And I've just bigged up Saka as well, by the way.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
missed
and
this,
all
Brandon.
our
That's the
players.
point. They want to turn it into us versus them. That's what it is.
But the point that Lee's getting,
Fact
and
is,
I
it's
don't think
1,707 days
outrageous.
without a trophy, and we're sitting here arguing over all this crap when we just won 3-0 and we're all buzzing.
This is
Like,
it.
what are we doing here?
It's not
I don't get it.
outrageous to sit there and say, fantastic, we've had a brilliant performance. Now go to the Bernabeu and make sure you go through. And I'll tell you what, win the fucking competition.
And let's hope Saka's all
Because
right
let's
because he
be
went
real
off injured
about it,
again
right?
yesterday.
Aside from
No, it was
yesterday,
precaution. Don't worry.
when
That was good
aside from
management.
yesterday, when has Arsenal performed like that this season?
Thank you.
We haven't. We've absolutely stunk
Man
it out
City.
this season.
35-1.
PSV.
But can I also
Right,
come
yeah,
in,
yeah.
though,
Right,
Brendan?
okay. Can I just say again, right? Man City 5-1. Everybody bigs that up, yeah? Everybody bigs that up. Man City.
Come on, man, it's Pep Guardiola. Erling
Christian,
Haaland was
mate.
on the pitch.
I don't care about Haaland. I don't care about Pep Guardiola, right? There was missing Rodri. Cool. Yeah. Everybody has injuries. We've had injuries, right? But the one thing about Man City going into that game, they'd just dropped a 2-goal lead to Feyenoord in the Champions League. They dropped a 2-goal lead to Brighton. They dropped a 2-goal lead to Brentford. I expect Arsenal to win, batter that Man City side because they've been shit all year. The point is, this team that we've got right now is very, very, very good, but it will not be rated amongst the best unless we start winning trophies. And the only
No, but-
opportunity we have of winning a trophy this season is if we win this competition. And like Lee said, if we win this competition, build him a statue outside the stadium because no other.
But they'll
Arsenal
overlook that.
manager
That won't
will
get
do
clipped,
it.
You know
Brandon.
something? I think one thing I need to acknowledge is you guys are quick to want Mikel Arteta sacked at the end of the season, or if we were to lose to Liverpool, as we've already lost the league to Liverpool, and if we lose the Champions League this season. But can you not see the building blocks with him not having his best centre back this season in Gabriel Magalhaes, not having any centre forward of note?
Hold on.
And
His best
can you not
centre back's been
see-
out for how many
Can
games?
you not see? Can you
Been
not
doing
see
it.
this
Been out for
season
2
alone?
games.
Can you not see this season? We just beat Real Madrid without Gabriel Magalhaes. I think that's
Fantastic.
worthy of mention.
It is, but it's
Okay,
that's
so
one
That's where I'm
off
coming
game.
from. I'm not talking about. I'm
We
not
won the
talking
league at
about
Old Trafford without Thierry Henry, mate.
Let me finish. Also, when we talk about some of the best managers out there, Pep Guardiola, Ancelotti, we've seen Mikel Arteta outmanage them this season with
Which is why I
huge
demand
wins.
more for this
I
club
mean,
because we can't
humiliated
win
them.
shit
He
if we
humiliated-
change the manager. For me,
League Gunner. Listen, you might not like Arteta, but this season he's humiliated 2 of the best managers out there in world football.
and if you don't win anything,
He's
it's all
outcoached.
the record books
He's
don't say he
outcoached.
humiliated Pep.
He has
Outcoached.
outcoached.
The history books don't say he outcoached Pep or this
He
and that. It just says
outcoached
another
Pep.
day without a
He
trophy,
took
mate.
him to the sword at the Emirates
I've
5-1.
also seen him
He
humiliated by
took-
Graham Potter, Egal.
He took, what do you call it? What's his face? It doesn't matter. Listen to what I'm about to say.
Oh, that
before
don't
you go
matter.
add into everything, because you won't understand where I'm going with this. First
Dean
things
Smith
first,
and that.
you guys are quick to want the manager sacked at the end of the season, but understand this is the same man who's built this team to this level. He's now got us into a situation where we've gone from facing Bodo Glimt and all these other guys to now facing Real Madrid at the Emirates. And it's not a thing where we're fearful. We're going into the game confident, and these guys come out of there with that kind of result. We're facing teams like Man City, who used to turn us over on a regular basis. We built the team from the defense up. We've been always speaking about building the team properly, and now that we're about to finally add the final pieces, which
Okay,
is
that's fantastic. That's
quality
fantastic.
striker and a quality left winger coming into this team in the summer,
Okay.
elevates this team to another level. I think
fantastic.
the manager is not the problem. I've always said the personnel, we've been short, and you guys agree with me that we're short in certain areas. So now that
hope
we're
he gets
finally
that.
looking to address those areas, and we have a manager who has the proper blueprint and has been able to outmanage some of the best managers in the world, I think we have the perfect blueprint to take step forward.
Is
I'm
that
not
a new
going to talk
buzzword,
about
blueprint?
Liverpool. I'm not going to talk about Man City. Arsenal alone. If we keep Mikel Arteta going into next season, regardless what happens come the end of this campaign, I still think we are in the right direction to go and kick on.
Right direction,
we're
blueprint,
missing
all
a
these
striker.
buzzwords.
We're a striker and a left winger away in the final third to
Okay,
have
cool.
a serious,
Okay,
dangerous
fantastic. So
amongst
what
the best
is
in the
Hansi
world.
Flick in them? Because
And I
he's got
think-
the
and I
youngest
think
team in the
sometimes-
league.
I
He's up
think
against
sometimes
Real
you guys are
Madrid. You've
so-
said are the best.
You guys are so knee-jerk ready to sack Arteta.
That's a
not
knee jerk. Look how he's
acknowledging
going on the
what you
screen.
have in front of
Knee
you.
jerk.
Yeah,
Forget that.
It's
because
5
when it
years,
comes-
mate.
The final thing I'm going to say, you guys laughed at me on the last show when I said when we were talking about great managers, and I said, you know what, Arteta right now is amongst the best in the world. He's showing it again in the Champions League with a bunch of players out against a Real Madrid team full of
We only had
superstars,
2 starters out, by the way.
keeping them to scoring 0 at the Emirates, battering them, scoring 3-0 also on the other
Best
hand.
performance of the
And it
season.
looks like we're going to go through. Most teams that get these kind of results, Lee, you're the first one to sit there and say, what phase is that?
Okay,
manager
so what
in?
is Hansi Flick in then? Because he's got the youngest squad in the league. Yeah, they were shit well, they weren't shit last season. They finished second. You would have cheered that, right? They were up against Real Madrid, all singing, all dancing. Real
They already
Madrid.
won the league 2 years ago. It's not a bad team.
No, hold up. They're the youngest squad in the league. They got a 7. He was 17 when they won the league. Kabasi should have scored tonight. Northside nicked his goal right on the line, right? He's 18. Casado's 18. They got Gavi, who's just turned 21. Yeah, they got Pedri, who's 22, 21. Yeah, they've got Balde. He's a youngster, 20 odd. Yeah, they've got a 17-year-old who's the best player in the world. Yeah, what we doing here? What phase is he in? Because he's romping that fucking league. He's romping the Champions League. He's already won a trophy. He's in another final. So he could do all 4.
Easier to win the
This
league
is
than the
what
Premier
people do
League.
when somebody you don't like is
It's
making
a lot
point.
easier to win La Liga than the Premier. You mad?
Deflection is
Of
so
course it is.
great. Why are we talking about Barcelona?
million
We're
percent.
facing
Egal,
Real
one sec,
Madrid.
one
How did
sec.
Barcelona jump into this? The deflection, guys. Everybody watching. The deflection is amazing. You are so good at deflecting, Lee.
You started the
turned
stream
this
attacking me,
conversation
Egal.
into
I sat
Barcelona.
here for 40 minutes and kept my mouth shut. Listen, so everyone speak. You started the stream when I jumped in after I've been super positive, watching that game last night, buzzing my tits off. Only game I've watched for God knows that. I can't remember the last time I watched the game back. I did that today. Yeah, I've been buzzing and you've started on me. I've shut up and let you say it. Dad wanted to bring me in. I said, no, I turned up last. Let everyone else go. I zipped it for 43 minutes. Yeah, then I've come back with a couple of things. You don't like it. Now it's a to and a fro. You've turned it into this. I've been positive all night yesterday. Yeah, last night and all day today. I've been walking around buzzing my fucking tits off. Like, what the fuck did I witness? I text my missus before kickoff yesterday. I said, I've just got back from church. Yeah, she's Orthodox Christian. She was like, you've been in church? Yeah. I was like, I was super busy. And then she goes, phones me. She goes, why are you in church? I said, I was praying for Madrid. She's pissing herself. I was so buzzing. Anyone that's watching this, that watched my watch along yesterday, from the get-go, I was buzzing. I was like, fucking go out there.
If you're saying I killed your vibe, I'm sorry.
Wait, you have killed my vibe. I've killed your vibe before, so it's even, isn't it? Yeah, but at the same time, Egal, yeah, at the same time, right, let's not pretend we've won the tournament here. What a great night.
That's not what I'm saying, though.
So let me finish.
I'm just saying, Lee, when we have a conversation about the team's performance and you give them credit for one game, but you can't actually analyze what you've said in the past and be like, you know what, maybe.
So now the past cares, but it don't when it's about trophies.
No, because
about how long the
your
manager's been in.
stance is you're going to want the manager sacked regardless what happens. If
If he don't win the Champions League, sack him. That's the only
he's
tournament he's
never
in. His
won the
pro.
fucking Champions League. You're basically saying do something we've never done before or get
Brother,
the fuck out.
he's won the FA Cup. He's won 2 FA Cup games ever since. That's 5 FA Cups since. Yeah, he's won
Once
2
again,
cup
you're
games.
about
One
to go on
against
a
Oxford,
discussion
one
track.
against Palace. Right? He had a chance to beat Eddie Howe, who you claim is a worse manager than him. Right? Your words. He's amongst the elite. You wouldn't put Eddie Howe there. He got schooled home and away, knocked out the League Cup. That was the best opportunity to win a trophy this season. Yeah, because we're going to go up against Inter, Bayern Munich, or Barcelona now. Yeah. And we've still got PSG. And if you go and look at the quality of that game tonight, all 3 goals, oh my days. Yeah, oh my days, they're a problem. Yeah, that Lewis-Skelly, oh my days, mate. He absolutely twisted the sassy.
So good,
Yes.
But
The
what did
Doué
it matter?
goal
Did he
slaps
win
him.
the trophy? Did he
Well,
win the
what
trophy?
phase is he in? Because he's already won one invincible
But
this
Lee,
season so far.
you're quick to deflect to other people.
He's
and
on for a
say-
treble, by the way.
No, because it seems
Hansi
like we're
Flick's
not
on
allowed
for a
to
quad.
Bro, I get it. You're happy, you're excited, but I'm excited also. And my excitement is looking at the team and looking where we can go. And to you, it's only like you're only willing to look as far as this end of this season. Can't you see? It's not only about the team. The manager is a massive part of why we are this good right now.
Egal,
And the
we've
manager,
not won
you
a
don't-
trophy for 5 years,
the manager
brother.
in which majority of you guys in the panel have said might need to go if things don't go our way.
No, has need to
Can
go.
you not
Does need to
see?
go.
Can you not see what he's done this season to get us to where we are? Even
Can you
with
not
the
see what
injuries?
Hansi Flick's done with a young kids
No,
playing,
but why are we talking
teenagers
about Hansi
playing every
Flick?
week?
I'm talking about
Well, no,
Arteta.
because
I'm
you
talking
just
about Arsenal.
no, Egal.
I
The
don't
reason I'm
support
saying that, and I'll
Barcelona.
shut
Why
up
am
and
I
I'll let
talking
everyone
about
else go.
Barcelona?
Right? The reason I'm bringing these people up is because when I said I wanted Hansi Flick at this football club, you, Tom Canton, all the band of merry fucking top gooners, all told me he's washed. Well, he's on for a quad this season, right? Which then qualifies him to get another 2 trophies to do a sextuple. Well, he's already done one with Bayern. I was told he's washed. He's playing the best football in Europe, along with, oh, by the way, Luis Enrique, who won the league at the weekend and ain't lost a
Arteta beat
game.
Lewis
Hold up.
Enrique this season.
Fantastic. Well, let's hope he beats him in the semis then, and we get to the final, and we're all sitting there having this debate again, right? And let's say, now we're in the final, and in the final, one-off game, we can beat anyone. We've
No,
seen
but
that.
let me guess, Lee. Your prediction would be we're going to lose in the semis.
Bro, I have actually said, yeah, I swear down, if we get to a final, if it's Inter Milan, I think we're fucked. Yeah, I think they're going to win it. Yeah, real talk. They've only conceded 3 goals in 11 games. They're ridiculous, and they've got a striker.
We've only conceded 5.
Yeah, 6.
Okay, my mistake.
It's 6
PSG
now.
scored.
But either way, they've conceded 3, and they've got strikers that can put the ball in the back of the net. Yeah, we've got Mikel Merino and Declan Rice scored 2 bangers yesterday. Fantastic. We slapped up PSV and Sporting. However, we're not. When we played Inter last time, yeah, bro, we were just whipping balls in their box, Pauls, and they were just heading them out. We have to find a way to beat a low block. We can't do that. We've seen that multiple
You
times.
want to know something? The job's not finished. Kobe said it himself. We gotta take it game by game. But at this moment in time, I'm confident we're gonna go through this tie. And whoever
Okay,
we
can I ask
face,
you a question? I'll
whoever
shut
we
up then.
face from PSV,
Are we going to win the Champions League?
whoever we face from PSG or what do you call it, Aston Villa, I
It'll be
honestly
PSG.
think PSG would probably be the team we're gonna face. It might actually suit us facing PSG. They play less of a low block and they're more of a team that's going to give us more space. I think we're going to be able to take it to them.
Okay,
And
so let me
then
ask you
in
a
the
question.
final-
I know
in the
I
final-
know it's haram to gamble. Yeah.
In the final, if I
But
had to
if you
put my money on Arsenal,
from here, do you think we will win the Champions League? Yeah or no? Because I don't think we will. If we do, build him a statue.
do I think we can win the Champions League, bro? I'll give us
No.
right now.
Out of 10, what would you rate it? Well, of 100%. What's your
I would
chances?
say,
Because I'm saying
I
1%.
would say we got a 30% chance.
I'm saying 1 to 10%.
Because I think we're past Real Madrid. I think I'm taking away like 20% from whoever we face in the next round, and I'm giving the other opponent in the other side of the bracket 50% of the chance of winning. So I think we have 30% chance. I think from the remaining four teams, if it's just PSG and Arsenal to fight it out, I think 30% chance is fair. And I'm giving
30%,
Barcelona and Inter 25 each on the other side.
So who's your favorite?
I think Barcelona or Inter would be the favorite.
But you're giving us 30% and you're giving Barca and Inter 25%.
I mean 50%. Whoever comes to.
Oh, sorry, 5th. Okay.
Yeah, because right now neither of them have.
The best looking final as a spectacle would be PSG versus Barca, if I'm honest.
I just don't want to
Well, they
face
both-
Inter. I think
both
Inter
look
is the best team in this competition, and if we were to play Inter in the final, they would give us the most problems. Barcelona, unbelievable team. But whatever happens, guys, people need to man up, because at the end of the day, when we drew Real Madrid, a lot of people said we're out. Forget about it. Hussam was telling me 100% you're out. And now all the people who underestimated Arsenal.
Yeah, but why do you always do this?
I'm not talking about Arsenal fans.
For one good win,
One second.
you're making it, I told you so.
But bro, this is important.
Win the trophy then.
This is important. Do not underestimate this Arsenal team anymore, because we're no longer that same underbelly soft team that teams can come to the Emirates and batter us 4-5-0. That performance.
That's why you're so gassed. This is the problem. You're just happy not getting banged anymore. That's the problem.
That performance versus Real Madrid is a statement to everybody, showing them we are a serious team now.
Yeah, I bet Barca and PSG are shit in a brick, mate.
No, they're probably not. There
we go then.
But one thing I will tell you, the impression of other people from outside of England speaking about Arsenal.
No, don't do this. I see Flowers said no. I'm going to say this last thing because I've spoke too long now after being quiet.
The impression of
That's
people
probably the longest I've sat quiet on the stream, by the way.
When we face Real Madrid
43 minutes.
in that performance.
No, I've seen Flowers share a thing, and I've heard share a video of a load of kids outside the Bernabeu. Yeah, Spanish kids saying, "Oh well, yeah, we might draw at the Emirates, we might lose at the Emirates." Yeah, guess what? All of the people that were interviewed outside the Bernabeu, yeah, not one of them said we're going through over the two legs. They just said they might lose at the Emirates and beat us at their ground. Dave said, to be fair, Dave said, but guess what? Dave also said, yeah, when the draw was made, I can't wait to slap Arsenal at the Emirates. They're crap. I played the thing on my fucking watch along last night. Yeah, big up Slade.
He flip flopped. Him and
so that's my point.
Streamer.
Hey, yeah,
anyways, before people start saying I rage quit, I did tell Dan I gotta go after an hour and 15 minutes. But
so he's trying to rattle me. It's fully worked.
I feel like I killed the vibe. I'm not trying to kill the vibe. Lee,
well, you killed my vibe, but I've killed yours before. So
stay happy. Thomas Partey put in a masterclass. I look silly there. I'll put my hand up if I'm wrong. Thomas Partey maybe deserves another year, but I don't think Arsenal's going to give it to him. But yeah, overall, guys, we get a striker. Imagine if Arsenal get a striker and we don't have Mikel Moreno up top.
Imagine if he gets a striker and he still don't win anything. Then what?
Lee, why do you got to go with the negative? You see, now you're killing the vibe.
No, I'm asking a question. You've asked us a question. Imagine he gets a striker and it's not Mikel Moreno.
Can I just ask you one thing? So, on your basis, where you think that this manager now has got us competing and we're winning against top managers and etc. and he's, no one's afraid of us. On that assumption, then, do you agree we should by now, with what he's done, be winning a trophy?
Yeah, but guess what? Sometimes in life, you wait a long time for a bus, and then they come in.
Oh, get out of here, Egal, man! Piss off, man.
How much longer?
So it could be the honest truth.
What you said.
It could be the honest truth that we wait so long.
How much longer then if we go this season? Because what you're saying about these players, and we've been out. I've seen us out. I've seen this manager be out. Like you said, this manager's outschooled Ancelotti and Pep.
I've seen Lagana's manager outschooled.
Been outschooled by David Moyes, Graham Potter, and managers like that. So I don't really look into that. It's
when you say outschooled, though, hold on, DJ. Sorry.
I'm only picking up what Egal says.
When you say outschooled,
rightly so, picking up.
One at a time.
Actually get dominated by a team. Where Arsenal were clearly, we didn't create more
chances.
No. We weren't a better team on the day.
Let me just finish my point. I agree with you. We don't get dominated by teams anymore, and we compete and we're in games. I agree with that. So on that basis, then, do you agree? Now we've got to that level. Do you think it's now time that we should be winning a trophy?
Of course, but the thing is.
Right. If we don't win any trophies this season, and we go next season and we still don't win any trophies, how much longer do you stand by Arteta?
I think DJB, what you want me to say is sack Arteta if this and this happens.
No, I never said that.
I'm just gonna keep it honest with you. I never said
I want you to sack Arteta. Okay. I said how long will you give him? Bearing in mind he's got us to where we've got. We're now competing with all these teams. We're outschooling all these top managers. We've built a team. No one's scared of us anymore. So on that basis, I think if you was to tell me that, we should be winning a trophy. We should walk this Champions League, and next season we should definitely win a trophy. If we don't, how much longer are you giving him?
My answer to you is go out this summer, get us a forward, get us a left winger, fix up that attack, and if with that new attack, if he's not capable of delivering at that point, then there might need to be a managerial change. But at this moment in time, we can all admit we've been asking for a center forward. We've been asking for that final piece of the puzzle. And as much as we want to blame the manager for not getting it done, if he does have those pieces, there's no more hiding behind the squad not being good enough. And
So
at that point, I agree with you.
DJ, he said this last season. He said this last season, mate, and he's deflected all season.
But also, if the manager does deliver the league title or the Champions League with the Gyökeres up top and a Nico Williams or whoever else we get, Lookman or whatever, we get into the summer.
Right.
At the same way how I would have to change my mind, you guys would also have to change your mind in the manager.
Yeah,
because
then look at the feeling we had last night.
One second. The final piece, because then the personnel issues which we have all been speaking about has always been the problem, and it's not been the manager.
Right,
alone.
because from what I saw last season, we were competing last season. We didn't have any injuries last season. We only finished 2 points behind Man City last season. We went out and we still didn't get over the line. So that to me is worrying because, that's all I'm saying. So
hey, you're not mentioning any context. You're just saying not getting over the line. We could mention Man City not getting over the line this season.
Man City are in a cup semi-final. What are we in?
Once again,
Champions League semi-final after next week.
Hopefully.
It ain't done yet.
Me, man.
We could be in a cup final.
We've seen Liverpool come back against Barcelona with Messi and all these men.
When we just beat Real Madrid 3-0.
We're not in the semi yet. We're not in the semi yet. Let's not do this. We've seen.
You said earlier.
I think we are. However, I also thought Barcelona were through, and then Liverpool slapped them up. I've also thought PSG were through, and Barca knocked Emery out. Yeah,
I'm gonna head off, guys. I'm gonna say this.
You never fucking know. Red card in the first minute. Free kick top ins. Now we're fucked.
Enjoy yourselves. Be happy. Don't stress yourself. And it's kind of nice.
You stressed me out.
Please, this is what you do to me.
I came here to be happy.
This is what you did to me after the 5-1 Man City win.
Yeah, we ain't winning the league, so it was irrelevant. It was just a good day out.
You see, I couldn't enjoy it. Anyways, enough about that.
Sorry for ruining your vibe on the City day. You've ruined mine tonight, so we're level 1-1, yeah?
No.
Big up, Egal. Legend, man. Look, I'm going to come to Brandon. I'm going to come to Brandon because he's got a shoot, but I'm going to do these super chats very quickly. Big up to everyone that's here, man. We've got 2.5k in the house, which is mad. So make sure you hit the like button because we've not even got 600 likes. So let's go to 1,000 likes, people. My voice is getting croakier and croakier from last night. Let's do these super chats. Netweed says second Arteta's speciality, the one game trophy bluff. Netweed is really not a fan of Mikel Arteta, bless him. Egal pulled up with the heater. IDK. Netweed says the 2023 season 6-point lead in the Champions League form. Not fooled. Make it happen says 2 free kick goals are now Arteta masterclass. Just says Partey was man of the match for me. Yeah, he's a lot of people's man of the match. To be fair, NetSuite says Odegaard, Sterling are literally -1 players for us. A little bit harsh putting him in the same bracket as Sterling. He's been absolutely guff.
No. Sorry, Dan. Sorry to cut him because I know Brandon needs to leave, Dan. Yeah, Odegaard scored 3 goals in 63 games for Norway. This guy plays against Kazakhstan, Gibraltar, Kosovo, and all these, man. The guy has been shit for 3.5 years, Dan.
You've heard of Sterling, though, Lee? Come on.
Oh, put your medals on the table.
Goals in the Premier League.
Yeah, Sterling had 53 GA in a calendar year, which is more than Salah had in the last calendar year. What's the point?
Sterling this season, though.
Well, we didn't see him. We only see him 260 minutes before Saka got injured. But then apparently, we ain't got a squad. Okay, cool. Why didn't Sterling come on when we're banging teams 5-1? Yeah, and Saka's playing 90 minutes in these games when Sterling's on the bench. Yeah, Odegaard's been trash all season.
He was quality last season. The season before, he was even better. Scored 15 goals last year. He scored 8 in the league, I think. 7 or 8 in the league. One of our best players. Top 3 standout players. Since his injury, he's been poor. How can you say poor for the last 3.5 years? That's mad.
He's won nothing, bruv. He's won 1 trophy in 12 years as a professional footballer.
What he's won now? Why did you have to switch it to
because if he's that good, top players dig you out the mud.
I was talking about his performances. When you realise that I was actually right, that last year he was very, very good. The year before he scored 15 goals. Then you switch it to his performances.
Okay, cool. Well, listen, I called it out from time. now even the toppest of top gooners are sitting all over the Twitter saying, well, yeah, maybe we need to move away from Odegaard. Yeah, I said the same about Fabio Vieira. Nobody's asking him to come back. And I said that on his full debut, by the way, on my fan cam, after he gave the ball away on the 20-minute, a lovely 20-minute cameo, yeah, off the bench against Man United, where he gave the ball to Bruno. He passed to Rashi and he equalised. Get out of here, man. Bro, my takes always marinate. It takes 2, 3, 4 years. Yeah,
Always.
Odegaard's trash, bruv.
Your takes always marinate.
My takes always, most of them, yeah, about this football
Danny
club.
Welbeck
Yeah.
was better than Mohamed Salah.
Danny Welbeck is a better footballer than Mohamed Salah. Yeah.
Come on, seriously.
Mohamed Salah, get out of it. We'll do that another day. Go on, Dan, sorry.
You said they always marinate.
Right,
man. Put one up.
Dan, right, put some respect on Welbeck's name. Yeah, that
Welbeck's a great player. He's
that
not
guy's
Mohamed
still
Salah.
balling out now. Wait, if
I
we
love
had Danny Welbeck up front this season, I'd be confident
I
we
would
would have won the
swap
flipping
Havertz
league.
in a heartbeat. He's not better than Mohamed Salah.
There you go. You're taking over 29. Thank you. We agree on saying.
We'll take him over 29. Yeah.
Let me send this one to Brandon before he goes. Says, how are you feeling about potential PSG versus Arsenal? Brandon, I'll let you take that one, man. They look very good tonight, PSG.
Well, we should be confident about playing PSG because we beat them earlier on in the season, or so most Arsenal fans would think, right? But this PSG side now look like a completely different side to what we played earlier on in the group stages, I think. They look really dangerous. Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, that Doué as well.
Mate, the goal he scored tonight is ridiculous.
Again, you know, this is another situation where they're not going to park the bus. They're going to leave us space. And a lot of, for Arsenal to win this Champions League, right? It's not even about ability. Yeah. Sometimes you see not even the best team in the competition wins the competition. It doesn't always work out like that. Mentality is a key thing here. And I don't think people realise how key it is. Mentality has to be on point like it was last night for us to have a chance of winning this Champions League. Doesn't matter who we face. Doesn't matter if we face PSG in the next round, Aston Villa, Barcelona in the final, or Bayern Munich. Whoever. It's all about mentality. How much do we want this? Yeah? Because them players, or our captain, should I say, and our manager stood at the Emirates pitch last season and said, don't be satisfied with second. We want more. And now we're in a predicament where the Champions League is the only competition we can win. We're not going to win the league. We're out the FA Cup. We're out the League Cup. It's been a very disappointing season domestically and in the league this season. So how much did your words mean at the end of last season, Odegaard? Mikel Arteta, the rest of the players? Yeah, it's all about mentality. Mentality is the only thing that can carry Arsenal to this Champions League. The mentality has to be right. Doesn't matter who we play. Yeah, I want to see the same kind of performance as what we see last night continue on. And it's the only way that we're going to win this competition. Doesn't matter who's playing. The other thing I just wanted to pick out as well, I know it's a bit irrelevant to this point. Egal said, wait until the summer, wait until we get the final pieces, the striker that everybody wants, the left winger that everybody wants. I think people are actually failing to realise how much midfield is actually an issue for Arsenal. Because when you look at Mikel Merino as an example, right, the guy's a defensive midfielder playing up front or being utilised up front. His goal ratio isn't actually that bad. What is that? 7 goals in 10? Is it now? 7 goals in 10?
Like that.
Something like that. So that's not a bad return for any striker, let alone somebody who's being utilised there who's never played there. But how many opportunities, clear-cut chances do Arsenal create in games? And it sounds stupid because when you look at how many opportunities we created last night against Madrid, you know, I think we had 11 shots on goal, 10 of them on target. That's called being efficient, yeah? And creating a lot of chances. Apart from that, this season, we've struggled to create chances. And the only way we're going to create more chances is if our midfield works better cohesively, I think. You know, I think Lee's onto something when he says about Odegaard being an issue, you know, to a degree, because I don't think Odegaard is as shit as what Lee thinks he is. And I do think there is a player in there. What I don't like about Odegaard is consistently going over to the right to link up with Saka. You know, nothing happens on the left. He kind of turns up. He's a bit like Ozil in a way, in that he turns up in games that he feels like turning up in, you know? And I think we really desperately forget the striker. We all need the striker. We know we need the striker, and we know we need the left winger as well. I think we desperately need a creative player in this Arsenal team. We
I have
desperately
to
need
disagree
that.
with you, man. Arsenal, we don't struggle to create chances. We struggle to finish
Are
chances.
you sure about that though,
It's been
Christian?
our point for
Because
2 years.
every time we fail in the last 3 years, right, in terms of like league, every time we've come up against or we failed to win games that have gone on to cost us the league
Aston Villa
title.
game, we lost at the Emirates. Trossard had a
It
massive
hasn't been-
chance. Martinelli,
I
was it
know,
Martinelli?
but
Who else had a chance?
it
There's
hasn't.
2 or
It
3 big
hasn't been
chances
the
in that first half. We could have been 2-3-0 up. We played really well in that first
Yeah.
half. Didn't take our chances.
But it hasn't been the
That's the
big
game that
games.
cost us.
It
Name me a big
hasn't
game
been-
where we haven't created chances. Where
Bayern Munich.
Havertz hasn't missed
Christian,
chances.
Christian, it hasn't been the big games that has stopped us from winning
Yeah.
the league.
Go on.
It's
Yeah,
been
of
the
course.
teams. It's been the teams that
You want to talk about
play
West
a lot-
Ham at home where we lost 2-0? We had 30 shots in that game.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
but
it's not
been-
creating chances. Never been creating chances for
Christian,
this Arsenal team. It's been
Christian.
finishing chances.
It's not just finishing chances, my friend. Yeah.
Yes, it
When
is,
you
man.
play-
I'm sorry, I disagree.
Christian, when you play against a low block, yeah, we can agree that every time throughout the last 3 seasons, we've failed to win games that have gone on to cost us the league title. It's been against majority of them.
Tell-
have been
tell me
against
again.
teams.
Newcastle
majority-
semi-final,
the
home and away. That's a big
Newcastle,
game.
all right,
Majority
first
of-
leg, Martinelli's clean through at 0-0. We hit the post. Havertz
The
has
ma-
a header. It comes off his shoulder, open goal, missed. That's
Yeah, I
2 big
agree.
chances right there. There were more chances.
Two big
in that game.
chances in
I was
2
at the game,
games.
yeah. We created more chances than Newcastle in that game. We didn't take our chances. We lost 2-0
Bro,
because they're
Christian.
clinical. They got Isak up front.
Christian,
So they're
I
Name me another
agree.
game. Name me another
I
game.
agree.
We
I
don't take
agree,
chances.
but-
We don't take enough chances. We're lacking
I
a clinical
agree.
striker that scores 25, 30 goals a season and a left winger that chips in with goals. 3 years ago,
Christian,
Martinelli
I-
scored 15. He hasn't been at the levels. 3 years ago,
Our manager told us in the
Odegaard-
press conference at the end of that season, Christian, yeah, after we scored I think Odegaard 15, Saka 15, all of them got 15, Martinelli. Our manager even sat in the press conference after that and said that was an anomaly. His words.
What was an anomaly?
All 3 of them forwards getting 15 goals. He said it was an anomaly. His words. It's
Yeah,
in the press
and not
conference
only
on our
that-
website.
All 3 of them got.
That's why I do the
15
press.
I don't get the point.
It's an anomaly. No, the point is, my
Christian.
point is, go on, Brandon. Sorry, because I know you got to go. Go on.
All 3 of them, all 3 of them players got 15 goals that season, right? But what's the big difference now? That season, Arsenal weren't respected in the way that we are now. We didn't face low blocks. Teams didn't play a low block predominantly against Arsenal. So when you face a low block, the majority of the time, week in, week out, you have to create better chances. Yeah, it doesn't matter who you've got up front. You could have Mbappe up front, Messi. It doesn't matter. You have to create better chances and more chances in order to have the chance to score goals. Like Newcastle's a prime example. I think we had 1 shot on target against Newcastle, or 2 shots on target against Newcastle in 2 years.
We had one
That's
big
crazy.
chance created against Everton the other week.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
big chance.
One big
So,
chance.
do you know
You were
what I
talking
mean?
about the
It's
last
not-
Everton game, though. The league's gone. We rested players.
I know, I understand that, but
Oh,
it's
okay,
not.
so that's fine
Still
then.
should've
But
won that
over
game.
my dead body. Okay, cool. Big up Mikel Arteta.
It's not. I don't think having a top class striker solves all of our problems. I do genuinely think that we lack creativity as well. You know, we really do, and you'll see that next season. I think. You know, you'll be sitting there going, "Cool, we've got Gyökeres up front or Izaku, whoever it is, right? We've got that striker," and you'll be wondering why we're not scoring at the rate that they possibly should be scoring at.
Yep.
And everybody will start to realise that creativity in this Arsenal team is a problem.
What's Isak going to do when he's standing there? Sorry, Kenny's super light, by the way. You should speak, Kenny. Yeah, I'll just jump in otherwise. Yeah, but what's Isak going to do when we're passing sideways and sideways, U-shaped football,
Gonna be
Yeah.
Gyökeres only, isn't it?
Well,
I would-
hopefully, yeah. But if it's Isak, which every one of our fans pretty much wants, yeah, what is he going to do when he's standing in the penalty box? We're just going sideways and sideways. He barely scores headers. Yeah, although he scored one against us, funny enough. Yeah, and do you know why? Because it was a first-time cross. When does anyone first-time cross in our team? They take a billion touches and slap it off a centre half, yeah, or a right back or a left back for a corner. See all the time, bro. I watch La Liga every time. I say, when did you see that in the Prem? Oh, why has he crossed it first time? When did you see first-time crosses?
Isak's a 1-in-1, 1-in-2 kind of striker. You give him two chances,
It's not a 1-in-1. It's not a 1-in-1. He's got 20 goals last season.
Games this season where he's been a 1-in-1 striker against us.
Games this season.
Emirates, he was a 1-in-1 striker.
Yeah, games this season. Yeah, over a course of a season.
1-in-1, 1-in-2. Some games is 1-in-1, some games 1-in-2.
Do you know who would be better suited for us the way we play? Unless we change our style, and you're going to fucking laugh at this. Yeah, and I said this when he was at Burnley. I would have swapped him for Lacazette. Chris Wood. Because he can actually, yeah, but people think footballers expire over the age of 30. So we have to go for the young, zesty fucking geezer with an exotic name. Yeah, bro, get out of here. Unless we change our formation, yeah, or our style of play and keep the same formation. I'm watching Hansi Flick week in, week out, absolutely school the shit out of everyone. Why? Because he lets you have the ball. He lets you have the ball. He plays a ridiculously high line. They're all in tune, like back four we had with Adams and all that lot. They get caught out every now and again, but they're so good in what they do, yeah, that they will fucking school you on the counter and they're ruthless. Yamal, Lewandowski scored 40 goals this season, by the way.
If we had Lewandowski in our team, he'd score a hell of a lot of goals.
Yeah, but last season he fell off a cliff. This manager's now got him scoring 40 goals.
We need a goal scorer, man.
Let me bring Kenny in, and Brandon, I know you got to go, my bro. But listen, pleasure having you on, man. Always a pleasure. Love hearing from you.
Big up, Brandon,
yeah, we'll
bro.
see you next time, Brandon.
Big up, Brandon.
Love, man. Big up,
Nice
bro.
seeing you, man.
Kenny, what are you saying about this Gyökeres thing? You know my thoughts. You know I think he's a good player. Sounds like we want him. Sounds like we could get him. There was a couple of chances in the first half last night. Saka put across the box. I'm thinking, where is our striker? And with the Gyökeres, I'm thinking maybe we could do something. I like Gyökeres. I think he'd be a brilliant signing. A lot of people that I speak to really like him as well. Sophie in the chat, bless her, she said that she thinks that Isak and Gyökeres could actually be the two that Newcastle have in their lineup, because Newcastle are also interested in him as well. I'd be very surprised if he chose Newcastle over Arsenal, because I think he's going to be guaranteed first team football for us, but who knows? What are you telling me, Kenny? Gyökeres?
Well, first and foremost, the way we play and the way we played in the last 3 seasons doesn't actually lend for a striker. You know, we have nearly won the league, and I say the word nearly, without a top striker. We've tended to get goals from right the team. 2023, 15 goals from about three players. About, was it 10 or 11 from Jesus? Last season, the goals were spread around this season. So the way we play, I always said for a striker to thrive, for your Gyökeres, your Isaks, got to slightly change the way we play, because players like that, we will create chances, but to get the best out of them, really, really get the best out of them, we probably need to, quicken the way we play, slightly quicken the way we play, get the ball, get them in the game a bit earlier than the way we do before. And that's why I do think that he's looking at a Sesko, because Sesko tends to, if he has Sesko in his team, he probably wouldn't have to change the way he plays. He can still play with that way and say, right, Sesko's my target man. I'm going to need more from Saka. I'm going to need, if we get Martinelli, if we keep Martinelli, he's going to need more from Martinelli. He's probably going to want more from Odegaard. If not, he sells Martinelli. Whoever he gets to play, left-sided forward, we need goals, because at the moment, if you look at the inverted strikers these days, they don't get any goals. So that's got to be a worry. If we do get a Gyökeres, do get Isak, we're going to need probably an upgrade in Martinelli if that's what you need. If he sells Martinelli and says, right, we need someone who's going to do what Martinelli does, bit of pace, beat his man, but get goals as well, because there's no excuse for inverted strikers inverted wingers not scoring about 10 or 15 goals. You're on the right and you're going towards goal. You're not quite across the ball. So why aren't you delivering in the goal stats? All right, Martinelli did 2 seasons ago, but his goal return, it's got to be better, mate. And that's, if we do get an inverted winger, that's what I'd expect. Saka hasn't let me down. All right, he's been injured this season. Last season, he didn't let me down. The season before, he doesn't let me down. Martinelli, hasn't let me down, but the last couple of years he's let me down a bit, and that's where I think if we don't get the Yorkers and Isaacs, and we get a Sesko, we're going to need more from other players. But if we do get these players, change the style of play's got to change. Yeah, we create chances, but we need to create more chances, because when you're getting these strikers, you have to sacrifice something else. You sacrifice a bit. You start to play like Guardiola before Haaland got to the team. They were still winning leagues, but they were doing it differently. They were getting goals from other areas of the pitch. Sterling, Jesus, turn up a few goals here and there. De Bruyne turn up with goals. Then when they got Haaland, they changed the way they play slightly, but he delivered. He's been playing. He's been off colour. He's been injured quite a few times this season. He's still got about 22 goals last season, and the season before, about 63 league goals. That made a difference, because don't get me wrong, we banged in goals as well. Got 91 goals, but their 5 extra goals, at the end of the day, was the difference between them winning the league and us missing out again. So I'm all for the striker, but only if the style of play changes a bit. If not, then I'll suffer Sesko on providing I get more goals from elsewhere in the team. Declan Rice has shown that he can score goals, but I've seen that he can score a bit of free kicks, and he's seen these set pieces. Next season, his target is 15 league goals. Why not? He's playing at left back. He's no longer playing in that he's no longer pretending to be a number 6. He's playing further up the field. We know he's got that in his locker. I need to see more of that. But yeah, these are strikers I like, but only if the style of play changes. Because if we still play the same way with these strikers, I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to be the same old. That's the challenge.
I agree.
Dan, I'm just sorry to cut him down. I'm just looking at big chances created in the Premier League this season, yeah? Right? Because we're talking about chance creation, yeah? Mohamed Salah's created 21 big chances, whatever a big chance is. Cole Palmer's on 20, Saka's on 19, and he's been out injured. Heung-min on 16, Declan Rice on 15, Trent on 14, and Mbeumo and Tielemans on 14, Luka Dean, left back, 13, Bruno Fernandes, 12. Yeah, then you go next page, right? Trossard, 11. I ain't seen our captain yet. Isak, 10. Alex Iwobi, 11. Tyreek Mitchell, 10. Semenyo, 10. Adama Traore, 10. Oh, there's our captain. There he is. He's on 10. He's down there slumming it with Semenyo and Traore. Eze, 9. Yeah.
He was also injured for a long time, though. How many games did he miss?
What, Premier League games?
Yeah.
He missed 57 days in total.
Cool.
57 days, not 3 months. It's less than 2. If we go before that, yeah.
Well, he's created 2 big chances less than Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah. In the Prem. What's a big chance? I don't know what that is. There's a geezer.
You're reading it out? You don't know what it is. You're the one reading out the
Yeah,
stats.
but I don't know what a big chance constant.
What's the point?
Because you're saying about chance creation, and now we've missed big chances. So is that across the post? Is that across that goes wide?
We have missed a lot of big chances.
Okay, cool. Well, Savio's done more than Odegaard. He's done 11. Jacob Murphy and Bruno Guimaraes have done 11. Morgan Rogers has done 11. Damsgaard.
You're talking like these are some bums. Morgan Rogers, Savinho.
Okay, cool. Leaf Davis. Do you know who Leaf Davis is? Leaf Davis. Thank you. He's created 12. Damsgaard. Anybody? Not Odegaard. Damsgaard. He's created more than them.
Quality player.
He's a quality player. How many Brentford games you watched this season? Get out of it, man. Come on.
A lot of Brentford games.
Okay.
You think Damsgaard's not a good player?
I don't watch Brentford that often, mate.
Well,
what about Dwight McNeil? Do you rate Dwight McNeil?
If you want to start reading that Premier League stats, maybe you should watch the league instead of watching the Liga, because you go on about all the time about how you watch
Why
the
would
league.
I watch that league? It's boring, bro.
Watch Barcelona. Why don't you watch the Premier League, the league that your club is in? If you want to start reading out stats,
it's boring.
You want to start reading out stats about big chances created and bringing up Martin Odegaard, who was out for 2-3 months, missed a lot of games.
No, he was out for 57 days.
Cool. Then start.
So that's less than 2 months.
Yeah, 2 assists, 2 big chances behind Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, who I don't rate anyway because he's shit. Bruno's shit, mate. Yeah, Martin Odegaard plays a different position to him anyway. Yeah. So what we're doing here, Kevin De Bruyne, by the way.
They're both midfielders.
Oh, okay, cool. Both midfielders, cool. So how many? So why is Thomas Partey not in that conversation?
Tell me how they're different. They play different positions. Tell me.
What, Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah.
Firstly, they're playing a different system.
No. Position. Tell me how they play.
Position. Well, number one.
How is their role different in the team?
How is their role different? Number one, Bruno just gets the ball and slaps it up the pitch. Takes less touches. Is he? You're telling me to watch the league? Ask any Man United fan in this chat. He plays for an A-ball.
How much United do you watch then?
I watch a lot of Man United.
You just said you don't watch that much Premier League.
Type in Lee Reacts on YouTube and go through all the watch-alongs I do. You'll see how many games I do. Yeah? Okay. You'll see how many games I do. I probably watch more football than you do in the Premier League. Yeah? And I don't even rate the Premier League. And you're talking to me about Prem. I probably watch more Premier League fucking watch-alongs and football than you do.
You said you don't rate Bruno and you said that him and Odegaard play in different positions.
Am I lying here, chat? They play in different positions. Martin Odegaard is a right number 10.
No, he's not.
Yeah? Yes. Okay, he's not.
Yeah, the amount of times Martin Odegaard gets the ball off our centre-backs, he's technically a right number 8. Him and Rice.
No, it's technically shit, the same as Bruno.
Huh?
It's technically shit, the same as Bruno. Yeah, let's just be real. Bruno's more active on the left.
Playing as a
they play on different sides of the pitch most of the time. Martin Odegaard plays on the right-hand side of the pitch mostly, yeah? We can both agree on that. Bruno mostly plays on the left side of the pitch. Yeah, so there's one difference straight away.
Plays more in the middle.
Okay, he plays in the middle.
He does.
Yeah, not only that, Bruno will just slap the ball from anywhere over the top. Yeah, Martin Odegaard ain't. It will take more touches than Bruno. He's more careful with the ball. Yeah, which is why, I don't rate either of them, because one will just slap the ball up the pitch aimlessly, and the other one takes a billion touches he shouldn't take. They're both crap. Yeah, so when you're comparing crap with crap, what we're doing here?
That's not.
Do you think, Lee?
Right, different players.
Question though. Do you think, Lee? Because you know, I'm an Odegaard fan, right? And I know that you aren't. Excuse me. I can't stick up for him this season. I think he's been poor. Can't stick up for 3 goals and 4 assists, right? But do you think if we got a creative midfielder, let's say we're not going to go and get Wirtz, but let's say we go and get Cunha. Let's just say we go get Cunha. He plays in the 10 and Odegaard drops in the 8. Now, I don't think that will happen because I think Arteta does believe he's a 10. Do you think Odegaard could be better if he was dropped a bit deeper and we have an actual creator in there or attacking midfielder, though, Lee? Do you still think he's good enough to even be there?
No. Damn. This guy's been passed around Europe like a peace pipe. Yeah, look how many clubs the geezer's played for. The geezer was playing at Herenveen, bruv. Yeah, look how many clubs this geezer's played for. He has been a professional footballer at the highest level, professional, for 12 seasons. Yeah, and look at him. He's rubbish.
Odegaard is crazy. Man.
It's not an overreaction, bro.
Crazy. It is.
How old is this guy?
It's had a bad few months since he come back from a bad injury. And people are saying you're saying he's at Herenveen, passed around, get rid of him.
Why is he not at Madrid then? Tell me why Madrid got rid of him.
Performing players for the past 2 years.
Tell me why didn't Real Madrid keep this geezer? Because they've got Dani Ceballos there.
They had other players coming through.
Like who?
What do you mean, like who?
Who was coming through when he was coming through?
You watched the league. You tell me who was coming through.
No, you tell me, because you've said they had other players, so surely you know.
Of course they did. They're Real Madrid. They're always creating players.
So who?
Huh?
So who? You can go far. Who? You tell me who was coming
through. How 5 years ago when they sold Martin Odegaard, but I'm sure they had players that they rated more than him at the time.
So when he was there and he played 11 league games, which he did, he played more for us on loan than he ever played for them, by the way. So who was coming through? That they said, we'll get rid of him. Who?
I don't know who exactly.
The chatter.
They player after player. They buy player after player. They're not usually a team that likes to develop young players. They're usually a team that likes to go and pick a gem from somewhere else, bring them in.
They don't develop young players. Right, I'm going bathroom, Dan, because this is wild. They don't develop young players, Wow.
Do you know we had Valverde on trial at 16? I didn't know that until the other day. That's mad that we didn't get him. But look, I'm with Christian in terms of Odegaard. I like Odegaard. I understand Lee doesn't. I can't stick up for him.
Crazy, Dan. He's had a bad few months.
Look, some people just don't rate players. I suppose it's opinions, but I like him. I think he's still got ability. I still think he's technically gifted. Let's get Kenny and DJ's opinion. DJ, let's come to you. Martin Odegaard, you've mentioned mentally and you've mentioned leadership, captaincy, question marks. I'm kind of with you there, DJ. But in terms of the ability of the lad, are you still an Odegaard guy, DJ, or are you more with me?
I'm one of them with Odegaard. I get frustrated with him. I get frustrated with him. That's not to say, I'm with you, Dan, on Odegaard. I don't think he's totally terrible. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's done some good things since he's been at the club. He just frustrates me. He sometimes takes far too many touches, and especially when we're in good attacking positions, you just think, just lay that ball off quicker, just get it gone quicker, and he'll check again, and then everyone's then, the opposition's back organised. So I find him frustrating. I'd like to think that if we do sign a striker, if we do get a Gyökeres or a striker, then I think Odegaard's the sort of player that he will thrive off of. I think if he's got someone in front of him, like a striker that he can play alongside, play with, look up to, get the ball to, I think you might start seeing Odegaard come better again if we get that striker. I think it shows Odegaard. It's not. I think it shows that because we've not had a striker this season, Odegaard's not had his best season. He hasn't been the same player when he comes back from injury. I still don't think he should be captain. I don't. I think if Odegaard perhaps was honest with himself, I don't think he's comfortable being captain for Arsenal. And I think if you took the captaincy away from him, it might relieve a bit of pressure off his shoulders and might start seeing a different Odegaard. Yeah, he just frustrates me. I think he's a player we should keep. I think he's a player that we can do a lot with. But I do think there's also a market opportunity for a better number 10 to come in. And if there was a better number 10,
did you think that last season? The levels he was at last season, we say.
And season before, I thought he was quality in the season before.
Probably not. I think when Odegaard was buzzing, when he was buzzing and he was getting his 15 goals and he was scoring goals and making assists, I would probably turn around and say no. I think he is the number 10 that we need. But the trouble is, you got to be consistent. You didn't have Patrick Vieira play one good season and then go 2 seasons and play rubbish.
Well, it's not 2 seasons. It's
4 or 5 months. No, I'm just saying he's not. Let's be honest, Chris.
And I wouldn't say rubbish.
But you've got to be honest with yourself here, and this is where Arsenal fans go wrong. A lot of Arsenal fans go wrong. Honesty. Odegaard has not been. He's probably been one of our worst players this season, I would say. Game for game. He's not been on it this season. If you look at his assists this season, look at his goals that he's got this season. For a captain and a leader, it's really not been good enough, has it, for Arsenal Football Club?
No, I don't think this season.
Southampton, no disrespects, possibly. But for Arsenal Football Club, from what you've seen from Odegaard this season, have you been happy, captain of Arsenal?
Since the injury, I agree with you. No, I haven't.
No, but even before
I still think he can get back to the levels that he showed us in the past 2 years.
Yeah, but even before injury, he weren't quite on it. He weren't really quite on it. And that, just for me personally, I worry as a captain of this football team, you have to show levels every single season. You can't have seasons where you drift in and out. You just can't have it. If you want to win premierships and Champions League, FA Cups, you've got to have a captain that stands out. You can't have a captain that's been substituted in his Arsenal career 58 times.
This actually is an issue as well. This super chat.
58 times he's been hooked off the pitch as a captain.
And name a big game Odegaard won must by himself. I must admit, there's games where I look at him and I think, are you going to take the game by the scruff of the neck?
Yeah,
are you going to do that? And I kind of had question marks over that. And look, Saka does it a lot. Saka's a moments player. I think he's ridiculously good. When I look at Odegaard, I think, yeah, I rate you. And I got put in the mud a couple of seasons ago with Odegaard when he got 15 goals. Because seasons before that, he got 4 goals, 7 goals. I'm like, look, this guy, we need to see more goals. Boom, 15. I thought, here we go. This is what I want to be seeing. And since then, we ain't seen them numbers again. So numbers have gone down again. So it is frustrating, if I'm honest. And, that's where I'm at. Mr. Waffle's begging me to ask this question. Says, Dan, please ask this to the panel. Do fans get too emotionally invested in players to the point it's actually holding the club back from being better than what they are? Maybe with some.
They get to him. The problem is, Dan, right? These players are under the age of 30, most of them. They're grown up in the social media era, right? We all know they watch. Yeah, there'll be players watching this. Yeah, maybe not every night that you're on, but there'll be players that have watched your channel, Dan. There'll be players that have watched my channel. There'll be players that watch the Football Terrace, AFTV, and the same on every other club, yeah? Like Chelsea fan base and all of that, Man United and that. We know they watch. We know that, Dan. Yeah, Arsenal got a L'Oreal gig. Yeah, Arsenal L'Oreal. Yeah, and it was Calafiori, Rice, and Odegaard. We've seen Saka, doing Secret Santa on BBC Sport. Yeah, so and when it came to Odegaard, what would you buy him as Secret Santa? And he went some hair gel. He keeps flicking his hair.
What's the problem?
Come on.
I don't understand the problem with that. What's wrong with that?
No, I've not got.
Why are you turning commercial ventures and brand partnerships?
When did I say it was a problem? Is this Attack League Gunner night or something? When did I say it was a problem?
What's the point? I don't understand the point.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Let me bring this super chat quick.
Well, it is what it is. You interjected before I finished what I was saying, like you've done all night, like Egal did all night. But it's calm, isn't it?
This is important. This
just don't get the point. We went from talking about players to you talking about L'Oreal hair flicks.
Well, if you had listened to what I said, which you didn't, it's no drama. This is why I have my own channel. This is why I have my own channel, mate. Yeah, it's calm.
Let me just bring this super chat in. Uber7 says, I'm a Norwegian. I personally find Odegaard heavily overrated. He's very good versus poor teams when he plays for the national team, but versus the big guns, he goes missing every time.
Thank you. Another Norwegian that don't rate him. I've never found one yet that does. I've got a lot of Norwegian subs. Cheers.
Look, man, I don't know how I can back up Odegaard this season with some of the performances.
Dan, he scored 3 goals in 63 flipping games. Bro, we've got 5 people on this panel right now. Pick another 6 out the chat. We all fucking go Gibraltar. I swear down we'll beat him in a football match. They're crap. They play Kosovo. Yeah, Kazakhstan, Ekshemesh, Borat, very nice. Yeah, bro, he played the game. He can't even beat them, bruv. 0-0. Moldova, Romania, get out of it, man. He's rubbish. Bro, we've seen Paul Merson at this football club. You guys have seen Liam Brady, Kenny and DJ. Yeah, you were lucky enough to witness him. We've seen Anders Limpar and all these men. We've seen Ozil. Yeah, as much as I didn't want Ozil, like here when it all fell off. The first season he was here, he was class. Fabregas, Cazorla, Rosicky, Kleb, Nasri. Yeah, we've seen proper players. Bergkamp. And I'm supposed to rate him. Do me a favour. Get out of it, man. He's rubbish.
Okay, look, we're not going to agree as a panel on the Odegaard thing, I don't think. So let's move from that lastly to come to a close. Let me ask this, because this season, this is literally all we've got to play for now, guys. The Champions League. I'll go around quickly as they come to a close. I'll start with you, Kenny. What do we do with the Premier League games now? Do we start to seriously rest these players so that we're fully fit for every single game going into this Champions League? Because I'll be very disappointed if we do get a scenario where we're struggling with injuries again. So, talk to me, Kenny. What do you reckon?
Well, first and foremost, I won't change the defence. I think if Kyrgios's going to be playing in the big games in Europe, then him and Saliba need to have a few games together. They need to get an understanding that it's not obviously going to be quite the understanding he had with Gabriel, but as centre halves should be rested. Saliba don't need a rest. But him and Kvyat need to get an understanding together, especially if they're going to be playing against Real Madrid and potentially a semi-final, hopefully a final. I like to see them being played. Declan Rice would probably want to play every game because of the way he's playing. He probably feels that he plays himself with the fitness. Saka, I think his games have been managed because he's been bought, in my opinion, specifically for the Champions League. It doesn't matter where it was Real. We could have played Inter, could have played Dortmund, Barcelona, PSG, Villa. I think he would have played anyway because when you're at the the championship rounds, which you're going to want your best players play, and you're going to tell everyone they're ahead of schedule. So I look at him. Sterling, you know, I'll give him a few more games. If we're all universally believe this league's gone, then we should, you know, throw eggs in the sort of Champions League. However, you know, keep it honest. Don't just, you know, make 10 or 11 changes. Do what you did against Everton. 5's enough. 5's enough. You know what I mean? Martinelli, he needs a run of games, you know. So I'll play him in maybe certain games. Trossard maybe up top. Marino probably, you know, in the midfield. But what we did against Everton was fine. In fact, a lot of people were slagging off Sterling, slagging off Trossard, weren't too happy with Ranieri. But in the first half, we were getting behind Everton. We were hitting them with pace, and Everton were hanging on. We just could run away with it. Second half, we brought the big boys on, and the pace went out of team. Everton looked comfortable. So don't knock it. I would, you know, do what we did against Everton. I had no problem with that team. The only thing is that, you know, Everton are playing above themselves. It's the last few games going to have at Goodison Park. But yeah, Champions League's got to take priority. No, let's be honest. I'll have to be honest. I hate rotation. I like rotation if it makes sense, but not total. What are you doing back here?
Hey, I just want to say hi.
Yeah, that's a point before you start saying no. Anyway, I think it should have some sort of priority, in my opinion. But
I'm with you. I'm with you. Brentford, we just go and get some of these players rested, make sure we do the job in Madrid, and then we go and do the job against. Well, looks like it's going to be PSG if we do get through, in my opinion. So, I don't know what your thoughts are, DJ. We've got to roll the dice in this competition for me now, and I appreciate. Look, I don't want to finish like 30 points off behind Liverpool down in 7th.
No.
But at the same time, we've got to be realistic and throw the eggs in the basket.
Isn't it? It's an awkward one because you had a manager say over my dead body about the league being finished, and there he is now having to try and rotate a team. So it is a difficult one. Kivior's got to play because he needs game time because he's our only centre back. So you've got to give him game time alongside Saliba. I agree with Kenny. They've got to build up a partnership, and these are the games that they can build that up. There is an opportunity.
DJB, how do you flip that into something negative? Hilarious.
Why is everything negative?
Well, the manager.
Why are you so sensitive?
He did say it was like the league was not over my dead body. That's what he said. I mean, I'm only going by what the manager said. You know.
Yeah, you know what? You're funny, man. I really.
Yeah, well, you know, I just thought I'd put one in there. But all seriousness, so Kivior and Saliba have got to play, build up a relationship, as Kenny said, and I agree. We've got an opportunity to rest Declan Rice. You know, he can bring Jorginho in. He can even play Trossard as a false 9 and perhaps put Mourinho back alongside, you know, in the midfield with Jorginho. Martinelli out on the left. I don't think he's going to make too many changes. I don't think he can afford to, really. He's got to because it's a big game on Wednesday. But looking at it, there's only about 3 or 4 players he can realistically rest. He can perhaps bring Sterling in. I'd like to see him manage Saka. Saka's got to have minutes because he's coming back and we're trying to get him back up to full fitness. So there's an opportunity where he can give Saka some minutes and perhaps bring Sterling on. So yeah, I mean, on the left he could probably start Trossard. Try something different. He's got opportunities to try things different, you know.
I think you just got.
You rest Saliba?
You know.
Wanyeri, he can give Wanyeri more game time.
I think Timber's got to be rested. White's got to come in.
Absolutely.
Jorginho,
Yeah, I was going to say get
Saliba in there.
Get Timber rested. Play Wanyeri, perhaps Odegaard rested, and see how we go from there. He's definitely got the players against Brentford to rest a few players and hopefully get a result. So yeah,
we'll see.
It has to be done. It has to be done because.
So who's everyone resting? Right? Is anyone resting Saliba?
Yep.
No,
I don't think so.
Because there's no options, right?
If you rest Saliba, that means you've got to play Timber, right?
Nope.
Yeah. So
how do you rest Saliba without playing Timber and?
Okay. Do you guys start Kieran
right
Tierney? You guys go start Kieran Tierney left back.
Yeah.
Well, Kieran Tierney should be starting games anyway, but that's a different story, isn't it?
For me, you got to wrap up Timber. You got to wrap up Saka.
Yeah.
Neither of those two can play. Saka obviously came off with a limp, but he looked like he was smiling. I think he's going to be all right.
Rice, rest Rice, I think.
I think I'll play Rice.
Would you?
I think so. He's not injury prone. I don't want to jinx it. He's not injury prone. He's got legs.
You rest Partey,
I
right?
think he plays. I think
I'd rest them
Jorginho,
all.
Rice.
I'd play Neto in goal.
Do you rest Partey?
I'd rest
I'll
everyone.
rest Partey.
Why don't we see Butler
on
Odegaard? Why don't we see him up front for a change? Because he's been in the squads for how many games and he ain't ever played.
He
hasn't had
might
enough
not be
minutes,
able
man.
to.
We
He
don't
hasn't
want
played. He hasn't played a single minute.
The thing about these guys, if they're ready,
Needs to
Arteta
stay
would give them game time.
Not at all. Yeah, bro, we ain't winning the league, so who cares whether we finish 12 points behind or 212 points
Not
behind?
about how
We
many
ain't
points
winning it.
behind. I don't want to finish third or fourth.
Who
Do you not
cares?
realize-
Second
do you not
or
realize-
third, we ain't won the league, so
Do
who
you not
cares?
realize where we
I
finish?
care if we finish third
Do
or
you not
fourth.
realize where we finish in the league might count on which part we finish in? Or no, that's not true. What am I saying?
Thank you.
Well, nothing
Yeah,
to
who
do
cares
with
whether we finish second, third, fourth? Nobody cares.
We
didn't
could
win
finish fifth.
For me,
We
it
could
does.
finish
For me, it
fifth,
does
you
in
know?
terms of slipping out,
finish- we-
get it.
in a second, in terms of progression, in terms of
It's not progression. If you want to talk about progression, we can do that on the stream straight after if you want. Yeah, because we could talk about
Raheem
progression.
Sterling
We've gone
starting?
backwards in every metric, mate. Yeah.
No, but it makes,
Aaron
for me,
did a
it makes
show the
difference
other
if we
day.
finish
With-
second or third.
Progression, yeah, is winning trophies. Yeah, progression. We've gone backwards in goals scored. Yeah, goals scored. We've gone backwards. That's not progression, is it? Progression is second. Well, that's not progression. That's stagnation.
I feel that we
So guys, this is the
I feel-
team.
I
Not, it's
feel
not
that
going
we-
backwards.
Based on your metric, but backwards. See, this is the problem with people like yourself that take league finish as
Yeah, but
progression.
Lee, man,
Because
there's
progression,
context around
8th,
this
5th,
season.
second. Nobody cares. You didn't win it.
There's context around this season, man. There's
There's-
context around it.
but the history books, let me say this, yeah. The history books in 20 years' time, when we all open the history books up and go, oh, who won the league in 2024-25? Oh, it was Liverpool. Next to Arsenal, we finished second. Oh, context in brackets. Nobody cares. Context is a thing that's used on social media to keep a manager in the job. Ain't good enough.
Next season. Of course, it
Building
has
on
been
next season for 5 seasons. When are we going to win that, mate?
Yeah, but there's
Everyday life.
context in terms of injuries, decisions. We were left short.
Everyone gets injuries. We know this at the start of the
in the
season.
January transfer window.
The
Of
manager
course,
said he has the last say on signings, so he's part of the management committee.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
that has the last say on signings.
In January,
Dan, can you put me on full screen for a second?
Do you know why they didn't give him one? Because they brought in a manager.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry, they brought in Berta, sporting director, who's been brought in by Tim Lewis, who's this the Kroenke's right-hand man and has been since 2007 to out him. Yeah, and is it the Denver Nuggets they run? Oh, they sacked the manager the other day. Yeah, and they sacked the
do you know
general
why?
manager.
You know why?
Do you know why? Why? Tell me, because he's en route for the playoffs, right?
they were fighting amongst each other on the direction of the club. The
Oh,
manager,
maybe that's
the
why I do
manager-
left, lads.
the manager wanted.
Maybe that's why this guy's coming.
The manager wanted experienced players to stay. The director wanted young rookies to be taking over the mantle, and he basically got rid of some of the experienced players after they won a championship. So the Kroenkes actually lost control of the back room to the point where
Didn't
the
the championship a couple of years ago, Egal? Didn't they win something a couple of years ago?
to the point where the coach and the director were not even on speaking terms. They were
Fantastic.
They were not on
How do we
speaking
know
terms.
Edu? How do we know Edu
And
was?
Josh
was there?
Kroenke, I read about it today. I was listening to
Okay,
Low Post.
cool.
Josh Kroenke basically said, we're going to make decisions at the end of the year. Guess what? The playoff starts next week, guys. An NBA playoff starts next week.
And they
The
sacked their
Denver
manager
Nuggets are in
already
the
and the
playoffs.
general manager. Crazy stuff, you
They
know.
sacked the manager, the general manager,
Yeah.
and they basically said, we're
Tic
starting
tac
fresh in
toe,
the summer.
tic tac toe, because
The
Arteta's next,
Kroenkes-
mate.
The Kroenkes are the cheapest
They've
team in
had
the NBA. They have the best player in the world, and they've not invested properly to build a team that can win multiple championships. They won.
Wow, but they won a championship 2 years ago,
They
right?
won a championship, and they let all the squad depth disappear for nothing.
Okay, cool. Let me ask you this then, yeah. How comes
The
in
Kroenkes
how
are
comes in
disgrace in
6
NBA.
press conferences, yeah? 6 press conferences since Big Berta's been here, Big Man Berta's been here. How comes not once Arteta's been asked about him?
I don't know. They seem like buddies. Berta came to Arsenal from Atletico Madrid, and we just dunked on his biggest rival for the first
No,
time.
hold on. You said they seem like buddies. You said they seem like buddies. When have you seen them
Yeah,
together?
because
Then?
we changed his life. First time.
No, hold up, Egal. You can't just make a throwaway statement about how they seem like buddies, because I see him turn up at training the other day. We see it, DJ. Matty's in the chat. We did this on the stream. We shared the footage. He turns up at training in a suit. Edu turns up in fucking loafers, yeah, ankle swingers, yeah, and a tight shirt. Yeah.
Yo,
Hold up. Let me finish. Yeah. In that clip, in the footage that we see, DJ, you were there, Matty's here, right? So guess what? When did you see them take a picture? And there was a picture everywhere of these two hugging and cuddling, kissing. Because if there is, I'm wrong. Cool. I'll hold my hands up. All I see in the footage that Haters TV put out, yeah, was Berta walking around with his arms folded in a suit, observing training, walking and pacing up and down. Six press conferences for the 3 games that we've had before and after, the pre-match to post-match. 6. Not once has Arteta been asked about Berta. Why? Because they made a big deal out of Edu and Arteta together. I know Edu was here first, but they made a big deal out of that, right? So how comes they ain't made a big deal out of Berta and Arteta? Why? Because he's here to sack him.
You ready?
If there's a picture of them together, cool. Fairs.
What's this? What's that?
Right?
That's Arteta, mate.
That's not Berta right behind him giving a pat on the back after winning the game.
Oh, that means they're buddies now, yeah.
This
Okay,
is a work relationship, bro.
Is this how weird this is going? He patted him on the back after beating Madrid. Well, of course he's getting.
Doing? Lee, what is your angle? I'm confused.
Egal's got you there, Lee, man. You got to hold that.
What is your
He
angle?
patted him on the back. Cool. How come he ain't been asked about him once in 6?
We changed his life. He
So they
literally
midfield
came
together.
from.
We've changed his life, you know. Do you know what this guy done at Atleti, by the way?
Guess what?
In 12 years,
Let me land.
You joined back in. Shut up.
We've just done something. Diego Simeone wasn't able to do. We beat Real Madrid in the Champions League.
Oh my days! I'll tell you something. Yeah, You know what? Simeone did though. Yeah, he won the Copa del Rey at their ground, mate. He won the Copa del Rey at their ground, mate. Beating them in the final, by the way.
Did he ever win a tie versus Real Madrid in the Champions League? Answer that question, Lee.
Nope. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. Do you know why? Because he won.
Now nobody cares. Why do you care about Andre Berta then? Nobody cares.
Do you know what? Look how giddy this guy is.
Yeah, I'm giddy today. Call me Quagmire.
There you go. You're funny, man. Yeah, you're funny, man. Bro, this guy has come in. Bro, you're from Canada, yeah? Right? You know how it works with general managers. Matty's taught me all of this. I don't know nothing about American sports. Matty, bless up to you, my friend, because Matty teaches me this. Matty's told us straight, this guy has come in to get rid of him. He's coming to get rid of him because the Conkies don't want to sack him. Yeah, because of where he's got us to, and the fans are all happy and this and that. So it'd look bad and a stain on their name and the club, and the fans would be fuming. So now that deal was done in or around January, before or around January. That's why he got no money. You're getting no more money, mate. Yeah, you wasted 80 million quid on Mikel Merino and Calafiori. Yeah, you put them on. Yeah, by the way. Wasted.
Scored against Real Madrid last night.
One second.
Well done. Now score in the final and win it.
Right to reply.
Come on.
When I finish, then
It's not wasted.
Yeah. So wasted. Yeah. Mikel Merino was on 50 grand a week at Sociedad. We put him on 130. That's an 80 grand pay rise for what? He was the third best midfielder
against Real Madrid. I'll take it.
Well, for one game. This is how desperate we are as a football club. This is how the process is going, lads. Yeah, one goal is paid off all of his money because he scored against Real Madrid. Yeah, one goal against Real Madrid has paid off. Yeah, 130 grand.
By the way.
Huh? No, but he just mentioned Real Madrid. He never mentioned the goals against the other teams. He said Real Madrid. I'll take it.
I said since he's been put up front, he scored 7 or 8 goals. I don't know how many.
Fantastic. I see 29 score 12 against fucking 16.
I want Lee to stay on this topic because he said something.
We can go live on my channel if you want, because I know Dan and the lads will probably want to get off soon anyway.
I just want to say one thing.
Because I'll fully do this all night.
Lee, Andre Berta was brought into the building because
Yep.
they wanted a different voice. They wanted somebody who's not from within. You yourself, Lee, were champion. You were saying that Arsenal were going to do something messed up and bring in somebody else within, either Eto or Per Mertesacker. You yourself must be happy with the signing of Berta.
Yeah, but guess what?
we all
Guess
are.
what? Nobody clips that, Egal, so nobody cares.
I know you are. I know you are. I seen your tweet. You said the best business we've done in years. Now,
Thank you.
this is not.
So
this
why are
is
you
not
asking me that
something-
question then?
Not because I know you, and this is where I'm going to take it to the next stage. It's not just because you like a deal doesn't mean that person's coming to do your business and get rid of the manager you don't like. Their job is to make Arsenal a better team with their experience and a different voice in the room. Because sometimes things get stale. When you have too many people who are very similar and have been working together for a long time, you need to shake it up. And I think this is to shake it up and put some new voices in the room, some new experience, somebody else to be able to give a different opinion on things. Because everything's been too similar, everything's been working too much, and you needed a little bit of a change. And if Edu's going to leave, why not? Bring in a
Why
new voice
do you
to
think
make a big
Edu
difference?
left though? Like
And-
real talk,
and I-
because I've never asked you that. I don't think. Why do you think he left?
What we've heard is he got given a great opportunity to be part of a club, a two
So
club.
you believe
or
David
multi-club-
Ornstein again?
a multi-club program where he's going to be working as and have a better job than he currently does at
Yeah,
Arsenal.
but he was on
It
$2.5
is
million quid a
about-
year to
it is
fucking get
about-
sucked off by Arsenal
Lee,
fans every day.
Before we deflect onto the third point, please let me finish with this main one. Okay, Andre Berta. Andre Berta was not brought in to sack Arteta. Andre Berta was not brought in to evaluate Arteta's only. He's brought in to evaluate the whole club and be a new director of football for the club. Be it evaluate the manager, be it evaluate the players. One thing that he has been specifically asked to do is to go and address that striker position.
Did
and
he
the
tell you
forward
that?
line. Based on what they've been saying, his main objective is this summer. The club's objective.
Yeah,
is to
guess
go get a
what?
forward.
How many players were we linked to by these same very said journalists in January? And
I'm
how
not
many
even
did we
talking about
sign?
journalists. I'm not even talking about journalists.
So
We
where have you heard this
eyes.
then?
Forget about journalists. We have
No.
eyes.
Okay, that's fine.
We know
So
what
where
we're
have you
talking
heard
about,
that then?
guys. What?
Forget the journalists. I totally agree because they're full of shit. Yeah. So where have you heard what you just said? That statement. He's been brought in with a very directive to go and buy a striker and sort that position out in the summer. Where have you heard that? If the journals ain't told you, then did he tell you? Did he phone you up?
Obviously, Arsenal's not going to report that.
No,
this is
you're
not-
guessing now.
No, bro, Lee.
So where have you heard it then? It's a simple question, a simple answer.
1 second, Lee. It doesn't take rocket science. We
So
know.
now you're guessing then.
No, I'm not guessing. If
So where have
don't
you
want
heard
me-
it?
Lee, you don't want me to state
What
my
are we
sources.
doing here, Dan? Seriously,
Lee,
mate.
1 second. Lee, you don't want me to
Come
state
on.
my sources. You don't want me to state my sources because if I say David
Oh, man's
Ornstein-
got sources, yeah, bro.
No,
What,
one
a
second,
Saka
stop,
sauce?
stop. If I state Sky Sports, Fabrizio Romano, or David Ornstein, immediately you're going to call it bullshit. And if I
Yep.
tell you use your eyes and just evaluate the squad and see what the problems are.
I've used my eyes
is
and I've
his main
looked at the
job.
wage bill, and our wage bill is embarrassingly
Forget
bad.
about the wage bill. and
Okay, we'll
just-
forget about that.
and-
Okay,
and
cool.
let's just talk about the main thing. The main reason why this whole topic I jumped on it is because you said Andre Berta was brought in here to replace Arteta or something like that. I think
No, I
that's the
said he
biggest
was brought
bullshit.
in.
I think that's the
No,
biggest
if you're going
bullshit
to
we've
quote
ever heard.
me properly, yeah, if you're going to quote me, use my words properly.
Okay,
Right?
what
Because
is it?
when we quote the manager, we use his words. DJ does it, Kenny does it, Dan does it. When we quote the managers, we quote his actual words. That's why I do press conference reactions. That's why they're all on my channel, because he chats shit and we hold him accountable to the shit he chats. The same as you hold me accountable, same as I hold you guys accountable, yeah? Right? You've just said to me, right? Yeah, oh, I've got sources, cool. Yeah? Well, who then? Oh, I can't reveal them, whatever. Yeah, cool. This guy, I said, has been brought in, yeah, because they've looked at that wage bill. Edu has walked out of this football club because they had an argument in the summer, yeah, over certain players coming in and out.
Based
Right?
on what?
Based on AFTV doing a live, right? Listen, with Cecil, Yardman, I think Potts, you might have been on that. Yeah, and Robbie, right? And I've sat there and I've heard Cecil going, oh, blah, oh, Edu's posted a tweet out, Robbie. Then Robbie gets kicked off because he's read out the tweet. I'm like, what? Edu ain't even got Twitter, bruv. And so now I'm thinking, what's going on here? What's going on here? Like, what are we doing here? Right? All of a
Wait,
sudden,
Edu had his burner Twitter.
I'll get out of here, Egal. My point is, Edu's
No, seriously. I'm asking you a question.
Hold on, let him finish. Let him finish.
bro. I'm going off of what they said on that stream, bruv. Yeah, they kicked Robbie off the stream 3 times. Yeah, and then edited that bit out. Took the stream down and uploaded it again. So what's Edu said to them that Robbie said on stream? Because I never see it. My chat was lighting up that day. I've never seen it. I didn't see the footage, bro. The clip got edited out. So I don't know what Edu text or DM'd or tweeted or put out to the public. I don't know, bruv. But my chat was going crazy. Yo, AFTV alive, and Robbie's just said this and this and this, and Edu's tweeted it out. I was like, Edu ain't got Twitter. I'm searching Twitter.
Yeah, but you know, Lee.
So hold on. My point is, I think, yeah, when he comes off gardening leave on the 1st of July, which is the end of that year's current contract, this year's current contract, yeah, I think he's going to do an interview wherever he goes, Forest or Olympiacos, whatever club he's working for next. I don't know. I think he's going to say something that you're not going to be liking. Yeah. Maybe he'll say something I don't like. I don't know. But based off of what my chat were telling me that day, and they've edited the clip out, something's gone down there that Robbie probably shouldn't have said. I don't know what he said because I didn't see it, bruv. Yeah. Didn't see it. My point is, Tim Lewis has worked with KSC since 07. That guy's come in, what, 18 months, 2 years ago? The guy with the funky hair that he just needs to shave off.
Tim Lewis,
next thing, Vinay quits. Well, where's he now? Has anyone heard of him? He was on 2.5 million a year. Why has he quit? Yeah, then Edu quits. Why have they both quit a job where they're getting paid 2 million plus a year each? Why? Because the manager had too much power. Now they've looked at the wage bill. Let me finish and I'll shut up. Now they've looked at the wage bill, and if you look at our wage bill, Calafiori was on 12 grand a week at Bologna. He's on 120. Why? How have you given him 10x his wages, bruv? Yeah, we could do this with all of them. Yeah, I'm not going to do that now because it's late and you guys want to go. Yeah, cool. However, the next guy that comes in is the guy that has £100 million net spend in 12 years at Atleti. Does that not give alarm bells? Hello, light bulbs are on. Oh, this is a light bulb, guys. We've got KSE's top man as one of our top boys now. And now the 100 million net spend man that can find gems left, right, and centre has now come in. Does that not wake you up and say, yo, this is why this guy never got any money in January, because that deal was already done. They announced it later. He's not been mentioned in a press conference out of 6 press conferences. Yeah. And guess what? Our wage bill fucking stinks. Tierney's leaving for free. Partey's leaving for free. Yeah, what's his name? Jorginho's leaving for free. We've got our 2 top strikers that are not strikers on £500,000 a week. Yeah, we've now got a DM up front. Yeah, we've got a fucking centre back at right back. Yeah, we've got a centre back at a midfielder at left back. Yeah, we've got a 6 in an 8 and an 8 in a fucking 6. We've got a 10 in an 8 and this and that. What are we doing here? It's a mess. They have had enough, and that is why them 2 guys have been brought into this football club. His time is up, mate. Yeah, it might be in the next year, it might be in the next 2 years. He's gone. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, that ownership has said, nah, allow it. Yeah, time to get serious, mate. Yeah, or time to save some money.
All those problems, all that mess.
This is all an opinion.
3-0 in a Champions League quarterfinal.
Well done. What a trophy. We beat the Madrid trophy.
And
Barcelona.
I just want to say one thing.
Even if we don't
everyone hears things. Everyone
Yeah,
hears
but that's
things.
how happy it is, DJ. Yeah, we're so buzzing with that moment. Why?
Honestly.
Because we don't.
It's our biggest game in however long. Should be buzzing.
Why? Thank you. But now look at the feeling you're feeling. Look at the feeling he's feeling, and everyone here is feeling. Now we want that every day. We want that every game. We want to be proud of our team.
And you know, when we sign Victor Gyökeres, we'll have a 40-goal a season striker, and we'll be winning everything.
Cool. Clip that. 2 hours 17 minutes 43. Thank you very much. We'll clip that.
By the way, I heard through the grapevine. If you're going to talk about rumors, I heard the real reason why Aubameyang got kicked out of the club was because he punched up Arteta.
Oh, well, funny that, because I've heard the fucking same.
Yeah,
he didn't punch him; he slapped him.
Yeah, I heard they got into a physical altercation, but I never heard any rumors about
maybe he's actually got sources.
I never heard any rumors of Arteta and Edu getting into altercation. I heard Edu was actually getting his feet cut from under him. He wanted to bring a bunch of Brazilian players, like the one that's at Newcastle, the one that's at West Ham. Lucas, what's his name? Lucas Paqueta. Lucas Paqueta, Bruno Guimaraes. He wanted to bring.
Oh,
both of them.
okay. So Edu's got better talent ID than Arteta. Then fucking
Edu
hell.
also,
Who knew?
Edu also wanted to bring in Morello before he went to Nottingham Forest.
Wow, Edu might actually be all right.
Edu, from what I've heard, we might have gotten Edu wrong, and he might have not actually had any power because none of the major Brazilian talent that he wanted to bring to the club, bar Marquinhos, was
So he
approved
didn't
by
have
the
any
board.
power. So you're telling me the
board
manager has the
didn't-
final say.
the board-
Thank you, which is what
The
you said
board
out
did
of his
not
own mouth.
approve. The board did not approve a lot of Edu's investment that he wanted to make.
Wow.
That's why he ended up
Big
leaving.
up Edu if that's true, mate, because he's got better talent ID than Arteta.
Apparently, he wanted all these Brazilian players, and none of them came. Bought Marquinhos because it was the only one that they deemed affordable.
And he
But
was
this is-
free, and
but
we
this
paid
once
3.5
again-
million.
This once again is
And
not
he's leaving for
credible.
free.
This once again is not credible journalism. It's based on links and rumors.
I'm in a good mood. I can't go through all the signings Arteta and Edu's made. It's cringy. Sorry.
Yeah, the stream's gone downhill, man. It's supposed to be a
Well,
positive.
he started it. I shut up for 45 minutes. He started it. You then kicked off. Then Kenny's been polite as hell, and then he
Guys,
jumps back in
guys,
again.
man.
Guys, can I bring it back to
and have a good
positive
positive
note?
stream.
Stand be
Can I
the
bring it back to a
Congo.
positive
Let
note?
me quickly do this.
Hey, I turned up on the stream thinking this is going to be amazing. Yeah, this idiot fucking kicks off on me, and then this one kicks off on me. Then he comes back in.
This is how I am. This is how it is every week.
Hang on. Let me do these quickly. These 4 super chats, and then we'll come to a close, and then we'll you can say your point, Egal. Anton says, keep one and sell one for the next season. Odegaard or Party.
If we get 100 million
Keep
for
one or
Odegaard, I
sell
would sell
one.
him.
100 million, you crazy?
That's what PSG were offering.
Keep Party, bin Odegaard,
Keep both.
and give Gabriel the armband. Yeah, and
Really,
Rice
actually,
the Rice
Odegaard's
the
not going
second.
nowhere. Odegaard's not going nowhere.
No, he
I
ain't going
hope both
nowhere.
of them-
He's
I
on
hope both of
240.
them
No one to
stay.
buy him, mate.
I hope both of them stay. Abdullah says, big up Dan and the panel. A lot of fans in our fan base, including me, do not want this manager here. But as for me, I won't go to the point of wanting Arsenal to lose a game. The ownership are the problem. Big up to you, Abdullah. I really appreciate your super chat,
Big up,
bro. Mina says,
Lewis,
excuse me, I'm really going my voice here. If Kroenke's ruined their NBA team, are you getting a striker? Oh, I see what you mean.
the Cronkies put the wrong people in charge, who ended up getting rid of.
But they won something, yeah? They won a
They
title,
did
yeah?
win. They
Oh,
did
okay,
win,
but they
and
put the
then
wrong
they've
people
never
in
won
charge.
since.
Cool.
They
Clip
did
that as
win.
well. 2 minutes 21:18.
They did win, but they've never won anything since. And they have a player in their team that is like an all-timer.
Okay. Well, we got Odegaard.
What all-timers do we have in our team?
Well, I don't know. You keep gassing up all these players to tell me. Let me ask you this very quickly. I know, Dan, sorry. Let me ask both of you guys this, yeah? If we was to get Florian Wirtz or Musiala this summer, would you get rid of Odegaard?
Yeah. For Wirtz, yeah.
For Musiala, yeah, not for Wirtz.
What?
Okay,
Wirtz
cool.
is better than
Thank
Musiala.
you.
Come on, Christian.
Thank you very much. 2 hours, 21
think
minutes,
it's- for me,
46
I think it's
seconds. Lovely
close
jubbly.
between him and Wirtz.
So
They're
there's better
both
players
higher
out there then. So there's better
They
players
both have
out there
higher
than what we
potential
currently
than
have.
Odegaard.
Thank you. That's
I'm
my
not,
point.
Lee, I've never said he's the best attacking midfielder or 8 in whatever position he plays for us this season. I've never said he's the best in the world in that position. I just back him. I've seen high level of.
Yeah, but bro,
very high level
you've got a three-legged
Odegaard
donkey
would
in
be
a
a better
fucking
8
Grand
than a 10.
National, bro. It had Arsenal written on the side of it. Like, come on. What
Lee,
are we
I think
doing?
Odegaard would be a better 8 than a 10 at this point.
Odegaard is not an 8, bruv. He is an 8, but he's not so good at 8s, bruv. There's better 8s in the world than him. Yeah, there's better 10s in the world than him. There's better right wingers than Saka. There's better left wingers than Martinelli and Trossard. There's better fucking numbers.
There's not too many better.
There's better right backs. Well, Timber's been sick. I can't lie. Yeah, Timber. I
Timber's
don't
one
think
of the
I've
best
ever seen. I don't think I've seen a single left winger cook him in a game this season.
No,
it's been true.
Yeah,
Timber's been ridiculous.
he's been unreal. Thomas Partey,
Sounding a little
unreal.
bit too positive there, Lee. Calm down.
Lee-
bro.
Lee-
Yeah,
Calm
but
down.
Dan, I came here to be positive, and
That
these
was
two are
crazy.
fucking wound me up.
he might have a bad game in 2 weeks, and you'll say the opposite.
No, not at all. See, this is where I'm fair. If a player plays well, I always say they play well.
But
Doesn't
Odegaard
matter
played
whether
well
I
for the
like
last
him.
2 years.
Yeah, and guess
Yeah,
what? Go and
but
look at my fan
15
cams.
goals,
Go and
he
look
played well.
at my fan cams.
I mean, you know,
Early has been terrible
in
for
all
3.5
seriousness,
years.
though, guys, in all seriousness, this summer window, we've got to get it right because we
Yeah.
cannot go another season like to this
We
season.
will.
What? But
I love Egal, man.
50
I love
million
Egal.
pound. He ain't got
Brother,
it right yet.
brother,
He ain't got it right yet, has he?
This summer, when we get this summer, this summer when we get a 6-foot+ Swedish fella coming from Portugal,
Right.
and he comes into this team bagging 40+
You're that
goals.
So what if he don't come then?
No one else is going to bid for him. Arsenal are the elite club, no one else is going to bid for him.
Because Barcelona need a
DJB,
Lewandowski replacement. Chelsea need a striker. Man United need a striker.
Every fucking striker in the world.
You don't
would
see any
love
other
to be at
club in
Arsenal right now.
your eyes. You don't see any other club in your eyes bidding for Gyökeres.
Every fucking striker in the world would love to be at Arsenal right now. You are coming
Really?
into a ready-made team.
Really?
You are coming into a
What,
ready-made
corner
team.
again, LA?
You are coming into a ready-made team with
Oh.
service from every single area. Bukayo Saka serving you, the midfield serving you, the left wing
That's
serving you.
serving you, you know.
Mikel Moreno is bagging 6 goals in 8 games. If you
Wow,
are a
recency.
striker in world football and you back yourself to improve to the top level and Arsenal come knocking, you are
Stay
packing
well
your
away.
bags, running to the airport, telling your whole family, meet me there in 2 weeks.
Okay, cool. How comes Nico Williams then? All the talk about that is now he's changed his mind.
What's
Nico
that
Williams,
to
you
do
know what
with
it
him?
is?
Where's
But the
gonna be?
reality
Why
of the
would
Nico
he
Williams
do that?
situation, he has his heart set on Barcelona. Barcelona are cheap and they want to get rid of Rafinha because they realize he's selfish. And they think
Man
Nico
says
Williams
selfish. You know he's the top scorer in the Champions League, right?
Yeah, because he's selfish. He stole a goal off. his
Maybe
team.
we should have some selfish players then.
Rafinha's quality.
Bro, do you know what's bad with Rafinha?
Barcelona want to sell Rafinha, and they want
they do.
they want Nico Williams as the replacement.
And guess what? He's not as good as Rafinha. He's shit.
Yeah, but Barcelona want to be cheap, and they want to cash
I
in
said
on.
they
Nico.
want to
They
be
wanna
cheap.
cash
You
in
know
on
they're playing
Rafinha.
this whole we're skint gimmick, and they've been doing that until they move in the stadium. They're not skint, bruv. They're not skint.
I think we're going to be in a bidding war with Gyökeres. I don't think we're going to
It's
be.
not even a bidding. It's not even a bidding war, DJ. It's a release clause, but it'll be wage bidding war.
Let me give you the scenario. Okay, you have Arsenal on this side. You have Manchester United on this side. You're a fucking idiot if you go to Manchester United. You have
Why? They've
Arsenal
won
on
2
this
trophies
side.
in
You
the
have
last 3
Chelsea on
years.
this side.
What, the biggest
You're
club
a
in the world?
fucking idiot.
And they're still in the Europa League.
One second. So Manchester United, Chelsea. If you go to any of those 2 clubs over Arsenal, you're an idiot. Simple.
Egal,
Okay.
What person coming to Arsenal?
Hang on a minute. Let me. This is really important because, like, what you've just said there, just because Man United are in the mud and where they are in the league, that's
They
totally
can't league finish, DJ. That's the problem.
because they are the one. Whether you like it or not, and it doesn't matter where Man United sit in the league, they are one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Because of
and
money.
No, exactly.
Nothing else.
So no.
They're willing to spend money, but they
Egal,
are
Man
not.
United, period, along with Real Madrid, are the biggest club in the world.
Right.
Guess what? You're
That's a
right.
fact.
You're
That's a
right.
fact.
You're
And
right.
it's
But
one
where you
player's
are,
dream to play for the biggest clubs in the world, and one of
Guess
them is
what?
Man United. Period.
guess what? If Barcelona or Real Madrid are in the Europa League or in the Conference League or not even in European competitions, and you have a team that is competing at the highest level, showing that they're getting further in the Champions League, showing that they have all these things and they're willing to come and get you, Arsenal is a much more ambitious.
So how comes Man United keep getting top-class players when they're in the Europa League then?
No, it's a different conversation. We're talking about Paul Pogba coming to them a couple years back to right now.
But that's like Ibrahimovic in the Europa League.
Okay, guys, on a serious right now. One second. I want to understand where your mindset is.
One second.
If you're looking at it from the player's perspective, and you're looking at it from money that we can offer and opportunity in the project that we can offer, what makes you think Manchester United or Chelsea or any other club would come and get Victor Gyökeres from us right now?
I'll tell you why. Because both of them seems Man United and Chelsea have been to way more finals in the last 10 years than we have, mate. How about
anybody who goes to those clubs because they won more FA Cups than Arsenal over the last 5 years?
That's my point. All I'm
Chelsea
saying
won the Champions League, mate. Since Arteta's won an FA Cup.
They didn't win a fucking Champions League with Cole Palmer lead.
Nobody cares.
You just answered.
What are you talking about?
You've just said my point. What I'm trying to say is we are not going to be the only club bidding for these top strikers.
Who's bidding for him?
What I'm saying is, if Gyökeres goes,
well, I don't know where you put in this shisha, lads, but it's fucked.
We are not going to be Arsenal. Not going to be the only club coming in for Gyökeres. Barcelona needs.
No, but DJB.
United need a striker. Chelsea desperately need a striker.
I'm going to ask you a simple question. Who needs a striker that you think is a better, more attractive club than
Barcelona?
More money than us.
Barcelona.
That's irrelevant.
Okay, stop right there. You think Barcelona can get rid of Lewandowski to bring in Victor Gyökeres and spend 80 million?
Lewandowski's on about 650 grand a week, mate. So yeah, and he's nearly 40. He's fucking what, 38, 37?
It's irrelevant who is the better. Who is
They could bring Victor Gyökeres about fucking 200 grand a week. He walks straight in their team, and instantly they win it again next year.
Players are going to go where the money is. I mean, if Chelsea are going to offer him 350 grand a week and we're going to offer him 180 grand a week, where's he going?
No answer to the Barca one, though.
1 second. Chelsea are not going to beat us to a punch for any player.
Well, they did to Caicedo.
No, they didn't. We didn't bid for Caicedo.
Yeah, we did. David Ornstein told us. Your mate.
We never got a bid accepted for Caicedo.
No, we never got a bid accepted for Caicedo.
Yeah.
But we did actually go in for Caicedo.
I know, but there's a difference.
And he went to Chelsea.
It's really naive.
Because we didn't want to pay the money. They did.
There's a difference between getting a bid accepted and getting... I honestly think sometimes your pessimism about everything around Arsenal makes you think that we can't get...
No, you only hear what the positive sparkles and unicorns and fairies and we're a family. This is great. We just slapped Madrid. Everything's great.
You speak about me like I'm on meth. What the fuck? Like, relax.
Egal, you're hilarious, bro.
Okay.
Come on, look at bro. This is the thing, yeah. People go off at the last recent seating that has happened, yeah. People do this all the time, yeah. Right. And whilst it's great, listen, we're all buzzing that this shouldn't have been how it's been for 2.5 hours. You started it. It's your fault. However, I've started it enough times on Terry's channel with you, yeah, and this channel and our channels, yeah, right, bro. People don't count outside of this particular season. They only look at the current flipping thing, yeah, right, and it's more of a Twitter thing, right. People only go off of the current, most recent thing that's happened, yeah? Right? It's jarring, bro.
What is that on Egal's?
Yeah? Depending on what level of recency bias they're looking
That's
at,
the picture
they
of
forget everything other than this season. They forget that Real Madrid have won 10 trophies since what? Oh, they've won them in the last 3 years. Yeah? 10 trophies and they're in another final. But don't worry, we slapped them 3-0, they're shit.
No,
yeah, well, what are we then?
Phil Foden is your
my logic is
players would still choose Arsenal. Declan Rice chose Arsenal over Manchester City.
Man City didn't bid the money for him. Yeah, Man City said Man City did not bid 100 million for him, otherwise he would have gone there. No, they didn't. Did they tell you that?
Manchester United won in Jury and Timber. He was Ten Hag's first choice. He chose Arsenal.
Yeah, we wanted Lautaro Martinez, so he went to Man United. So what's your excuse there then?
Ten Hag. Yeah, Calafiori in the summer was sought after by a lot of big clubs. He chose Arsenal.
Do you know why? Because we paid him 10 times his wages at Bologna. Yeah, some money talks then, right?
Yeah, of course it does.
Thank you. So if you pay the money, you get your guy.
But Arsenal still have Paul.
No, we don't. We just pay over the odds for shit players.
Bro, look at Man United.
There's no chance in the summer that Arsenal get Gyökeres.
No, I'm not saying there's no chance we don't get Gyökeres. However, what I'm saying is there's not, and what DJ started saying, yeah, we're not going to be the only club in. We all know his release clause, bro. Don't think David Ornstein's saying you're saying flash. Every single person, every single football club in the world knows Victor Gyökeres' release clause. They know what he's getting paid. Bro, I can Google it right now and find out what Victor Gyökeres is getting paid.
Now,
right? So now that's just us on the internet. Now imagine the agents and the clubs and the people, the reps that work for the club, the hierarchies and all of this, yeah? The sporting directors.
Definitely.
Yeah, bro, I swear down, if Victor Gyökeres has got his head screwed on, he goes Barcelona.
Okay, by the way, can I say one thing?
It's only up the road from Paul.
The reason why Phil Foden's my picture is because he had a stinker on the weekend and I was roasting Man City.
You can't rip into Foden, man.
I was making fun of Phil Foden. That's why
he dismisses his first 2 titles, apparently.
Yeah, Phil Foden's a fraud.
He dismisses DJ dismisses his first 2 titles.
Anyways, bringing it back to the main thing. I want you guys to know there's many different ways to look at it. Who's the biggest club? Who has the most money to spend for that player's contract for the year, and also fit, and who gives them the best sporting project. Arsenal right now.
Fucking
what Arsenal are we doing right now. Any striker who comes into Arsenal who's a proper striker, we take them.
He's going to look at it and say, I can't get a goal because these men are passing sideways and backwards around the edge of the box.
But guess what? If you go to Manchester United, there is no guarantee, even if you're Victor Gyökeres, you're going to do well. You go
Yes,
to
there is.
Arsenal,
Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why?
No, but let
Do
me
you know why?
finish,
Do you know why? Do you know why? Because Victor
I let-
Gyökeres is light years
I let
better
you
than the
finish
two
after
they've
you're
got now.
making jokes.
Go
Let
on,
me
sorry.
finish.
Go on, go
2
on,
seconds.
go on.
2 seconds, right?
Kenny, you're way too polite.
I
by the
think
way.
we talk. I think we talk too much
Kenny,
about
jump
what.
in, man.
I think we talk too much about what teams have done lately or all these other things. The reality situation is, I don't think Chelsea's Champions League from a couple years ago is relevant in the conversation of attractiveness for this current Chelsea
No, because it's
squad.
the most recency
I
biased
don't
thing that
think
you can
I
bring
don't
up
think
to make out
Manchester
Arsenal
United.
amazing and
I don't
everyone
think
else's
Manchester
shit.
United's FA Cups and League Cups of the last. Holy shit! My son woke up. I gotta go.
He
No
rage
worries,
quit again. He rage quit again. Yeah,
I'll
that's
tell you
twice in
what,
one stream.
that's another good topic, isn't it? Who would you take, Foden or Odegaard?
Foden in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Foden stepped up. Yeah, Foden stepped. Oh, actually, Foden scored a screamer against Real Madrid.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's not tough. Foden's won 18, 19 trophies.
I think I'd yeah.
Yeah, Foden's actually won Player of the Season.
Foden, Saka, and Rice in the same team. That sounds appealing to me.
Foden in the number 10 would absolutely cook. Yeah, and he's had a shit season, and rightly so. He's getting cussed out by people, but Foden is an absolute baller. Yeah, and people forget, and this is why when Egal started kicking off on me at the start, yeah, and I just shut up for 40 odd minutes, and I ain't shut up since. Sorry, my bad. Right, but when he was talking about Camavinga and Rodrigo, I think he fails to realise, yeah, they're young guys, bruv, 22 and 24 just turned. Look at what they've won, and they've been major cogs in that winning team. Yeah, they've stepped up when it matters. Yeah, Camavinga plays left back a lot of the time. He plays left. It's not a left back, bro. Look at the way he manhandled, yeah, Mikel Merino and Odegaard yesterday. Yeah, look at the way he manhandled him. Yeah, let's be real with it. Yeah, he was and he was nicking the ball. Some of the tackles, bro. That guy is so good. It's crazy. Yeah, when we see Declan doing it, yeah, Declan's over.
No one.
Well, you didn't see Martin Odegaard
yesterday.
Well, you didn't see Camavinga manhandle Merino and Odegaard.
There was one time maybe he
won
the ball in front of Odegaard. He didn't manhandle our team. I didn't see him in the second half. The second half he was anonymous and then he got sent off.
Oh, he was shit. And guess what? He locked. Guess what?
Our players didn't sound like you're saying he was shit.
He played in the 6, yeah, right. Where was our captain who plays in the 10? Because that's his guy, right? Where was our captain? He manhandled him 4 or 5 times, bro. Dan, I swear, Matty texted you on the 42nd minute and said, "Just watch Odegaard."
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Just watch Odegaard for the next 3 minutes till half time. Thank you very much, and just keep your eyes on Odegaard. Watch just one player. Don't worry about the ball on TV because we know where the ball is. And if the player goes out a shot, you know roughly where he is. Just watch that player for 5 minutes straight. Forget where the fucking ball is. Watch him. What's he doing? Is he showing for the ball? Yeah. Is he jogging over? Is he, I'm on the half turn? No, he ain't. The guy was hiding, bro, and he got manhandled. How many times was he on his fucking bum? Merino got dumped on his ass enough times by Camavinga. First half. Second half, he was awful. And Camavinga in the first half, the first 10, 15 minutes, he was shit. The rest of that first half, he was all right. He weren't great. I'd say average, 5 out of 10. Second half, he was fucking abysmal. Yeah, but guess what? Where was our captain? Oh, we didn't see him. He was telling Declan Rice to whip it in, cross it. Yeah, good one. Yeah, bro, I swear down, hiding and killing space. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's all he does, bro. That's all he does. Comparing Foden to Odegaard is disrespectful. Exactly. One's won 19 trophies. One's won 1. Yeah. One's been playing for 12 years as a pro. One's been playing for fucking 6 years. Yeah. What are we doing here?
You love to bring up the constant negatives, man.
No, it's facts. And facts are not negative, no matter how many times you twist it.
Facts are we beat Real Madrid 3-0 yesterday. We're trying to be positive. Look, I agree with Egal in terms of I think Arsenal are a very attractive team to join at the moment. Any striker in Europe watching that last night can't look at that and think, I would score a lot of goals in this team. I would get a lot of chances in this team. Second 3 years in a row. Of course, I'm not happy with it, but it's progression, right? If you're a top striker who can score
that's stagnation. Second 3 years in a row, stagnation.
One second. If you're a top striker that can score 25, 30 goals, you look at that and go, if I can be the missing piece of that puzzle, I can take them from second to first. We got to go one place up the league.
Yeah.
If we sign a Gyökeres or an Isak, I don't think we get Isak. If we sign a Gyökeres or a top striker who can score 20, 25, 30 goals, We can move up that one place. We can win the league next year.
Mm.
Why not?
Are you
Captain
with
Saber
Egal,
Ho.
Christian, when you say if we get that missing piece, that left winger, that striker, whoever the other positions you think, and if he doesn't win it next year with the final pieces of the puzzle, then you'd have that conversation? Are you with Egal there, or?
Yeah, I guess so. I've seen the progression from where we were when he took over to where we are now.
Well, Europa League final and 5th, 2 points off 3rd.
I've seen the progression from when he took over to where we are now. And I see us going in the right direction. This season, I agree, I'm disappointed. I think we were left short in the summer. Obviously, January was abysmal. It was ridiculous. So we need a big summer. Do I have faith in these owners to have the big summer that we need to get those missing pieces, to get that striker and left winger? I don't know. But if they pull it out of the bag, if they do it, if they sign a striker, a left winger, I think we need probably a 6 if Partey goes. Maybe another centre-back as depth if Kivior goes. Maybe, I don't know, one more player. Maybe 4 or 5 players this summer. And we finish the puzzle like we're talking about and we still don't get over the line. Then cool, next summer we have a conversation.
We might have to let players out the door, though, to get those players in. I mean, some of the big names might have to go.
We let a lot of players go last summer, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but
Ramsdale went, Smith-Rowe went, Nelson went.
We got rid of 4 forwards and replaced them with Raheem Sterling in the summer. 4 forwards, Raheem Sterling.
I think some big names are going to have to go out the club to get those players in. I still think, we might, if offers come in for Martinelli, players like that, Trossard.
I think Trossard goes. I think Kivior probably goes. Jorginho goes. Zinchenko goes.
Yeah.
Tierney goes. Sterling goes.
Well, it sounds like a rebuild, lads.
It nearly is, man. They left themselves a ridiculously big job. If they'd signed
we'll click that 240, 21
and 1 player in January, the job wouldn't be so big. But now we're looking at 4 or 5 players, probably minimum.
Wow, sounds like a rebuild. Funny, because the other week when you was on it, you said it weren't a rebuild.
I never said it was.
That was Egal, to be fair. That was Egal, to be fair.
That was Egal. I never had a rebuild.
Okay, fair. Don't worry, we're clipping a lot of this.
I don't know. I don't know behind the scenes. I don't know what goes on. I don't know whose choice it is to spend money, to not spend money. I know that in January, Arteta was saying he wanted a striker. We were short. They didn't give him one. They bid for Ollie Watkins, so they did try.
They didn't bid for Ollie Watkins.
They did bid for Ollie Watkins.
No, they didn't.
They did.
Did they call you and tell you that?
No, but they did.
Let me come to.
If they bid for Ollie Watkins, they would have got him. Come on.
No, of course they wouldn't. They just let John Duran go. They couldn't let 2 strikers go. They're in Champions League.
We bid for John Duran before the Saudis put the money on the table for Duran.
I never heard about us bidding for Duran. I heard about us bidding for Watkins.
No, we didn't put the money on the table for Watkins. We did not bid for him until after the Saudis then came in for Duran.
We did bid for him.
Oh, we tried.
You just said we didn't bid for him, then you said we did.
No, we didn't bid for him, bro. I know that factually, by the way. We did not bid for him.
You said we bid for him after Duran went.
No, according to David Ornstein, Fabrizio, and so on and so forth, the media that you lot listen to, AFTV, Robbie chatting shit. Well, I'm hearing, that Arsenal going in for a last-minute bid, for Ivan Toney. Funny that, because I know his best mate he went to school with, bruv. Yeah, and I know another geezer. Yeah, I'm not even taking the piss.
My brother's cousin's friend's
brother's
cousin
cool.
says this.
Okay, cool. Tell me this. Chat, anyone who watches me on a regular basis. Anyone who watches me on a regular basis, when Nicolas Pepe signed for Arsenal, I said on a fucking stream, Lacazette showed him around the training ground. What did Arsenal YouTube channel drop 2 days later? Lacazette showed him around the training ground. Kieran Tierney signs for Arsenal. I said Kieran Tierney's done deal. He's in Sopra House. 4 hours later, I was on a live stream with Chig, RIP to you, my G. That stream's still on my channel. I said he's in Sopwell House, he's passed his medical. 4 hours later, yellow ticket tape. Kieran Tierney leaves Celtic for a medical. No, he's in Sopwell House, mate. All he done. I said it 4 hours later. Another one, Matt Ryan tweeted it out 2 days before Matt Ryan, the goalkeeper, signs. I said, Matt Ryan to Arsenal. Not one journo in the world mentioned it. Everyone was going, how the fuck does he know that? Then check this. Ivan Toney, I know factually everything about Ivan Toney, for the last fucking 18 months. Am I lying? Chat, am I lying? Am I lying? Am I lying?
So if you're an oracle of Arsenal transfers, who are we signing in the summer?
Well,
I don't know that yet. He'll let you know
hopefully
when
a fucking new manager, mate, Inzaghi. All right, chat, am I lying? Am I lying? Real talk, People that watch me on a regular basis, and I've done for years, am I lying? Everything I just said, am I lying? I've called Ivan Toney's whole thing for 18 months. Why? Because I know people that went to school with him, bruv. Rivals Tears did a gig at Wing Kings in Milton Keynes. That's my boy's fucking gaff. Chicken restaurant. Chicken gaff. He went to school with Ivan Toney. That's my boy. I know the whole fucking thing with him. Yeah, I know about Eddie Nketiah. I also know about Reece Nelson as well. Yeah, because I knew Reece Nelson signed for Fulham, not Ipswich, a day before they longed it out on deadline day. And I said that on stream. Yeah, I knew he factually signed for Fulham. Everyone's longed it out on deadline day. Sterling, Sancho, and fucking Reece Nelson all signed the day before. They longed it out. Fabrizio and David Ornstein all day. Yeah, they said no more signings. No more signings for Arsenal. Yeah, it's done. Man said bullshit. Cool. Go and watch my streams, brother. Yeah. Is what it is.
Let me come to a close on this. There's a couple of super chats, and then I've got one question. Who's the last one that we had? Man United says, "How on earth can you say it's progress when you haven't won a title with his players?" I think Christian was more meaning where we were in 8th to now 2nd. Andrew, enjoying the stream, lads. I'm still praying for tomorrow. Lee, Bilbao at home. There's something about us Rangers in Europe for some reason. Yeah,
What phase is Barry Ferguson in? Because he beat Jose.
Good shout. Let me ask this quickly, and then we do need to go because otherwise we'll be in for another 4-hour stream.
You ain't got work rate, Dan.
Oh no, I don't have the work rate of Lee Gunner, man. Let me tell you that now. I'll start with you, Kenny. I'm going to ask everybody the same question. Where do Arsenal get to in the Champions League this season? Do we get all the way and win it? Do we get to the final? Do we get to the semis? Or do we go out against Madrid? I'll start with you, Kenny. Oh, you're on mute, bro.
One game at a time. We're still at half time. Ask me on the 17th of April. No, seriously, because it's Real Madrid. I think majority of fans are sleeping with one eye open with the lights on because it's Real Madrid. It's a crude term that I've used, but we've been here before. I've built my hopes up 2 years ago with the league. I started to believe last year. I just want to sort of like enjoy it whilst I can, and just let us just calm down. Let's not look towards the 31st of May. We haven't even played the semi-final yet. We're not even in it yet officially. So let's just one game at a time. It's Brentford on Saturday. You should be asking us, what's the score going to be against Brentford? 1-2 or 2-0 to Brentford, 2-1 to Arsenal. Yeah, Brentford first.
Okay, interesting. DJ, same question to you, man. If you had to predict, what are you saying?
I think the 3-0 lead hopefully will be good enough to get us into the semi-final. But having said that, this team have had a habit in the past to building us up and then failing, unfortunately. I think PSG could be a step too far, personally, from what I've seen of them. I've seen them tonight, and I've been watching them recently. If we get PSG in the semi-final, I think the way they sort of play could be a step too far. But I'm a little bit sitting on the fence. I've been saying we need to just get through the second leg, and then see where we go from there. But I think semi-final, PSG, I think that's where it could all unfold, unfortunately. But, let's stay positive.
Yeah.
Let's stay positive.
Let's stay positive, man. I'll be positive. I think Arsenal get to the final. There we go. That's positive. I'm the negative one. Click me up. I'm the negative one. I'm sure they'll put Dan Potts' negative under this. I think we'll get to the final. They won't clip that up because they'll only clip the stuff up I say that's negative. So, yeah, I reckon Arsenal will get to the final. Do I think we'll win it? Depends who we got in the final.
Them two have seen us lose a final.
Yeah,
in the Champions League.
I can't be doing it again.
I actually do think it will be Barcelona in the final as well, by the way. Some people say Inter Milan. I actually do think it will be Inter Milan. It will be
Which Barcelona revenge because of that that son of a bitch referee from
that was awful.
I would like Barcelona to beat them. That would be a dream scenario. It'd be amazing. But it's what it is. Christian.
I think PSG are a good side, though. I really do. I'm impressed with them. I've got to be honest. I am impressed with them.
Same.
It'd be a beautiful storyline for Arsenal-Barca final, wouldn't it? Revenge for 2006. But look, man, a lot of people said we wouldn't get past the quarterfinal, past Madrid. I think. Don't get me wrong. 3-0 is a good scoreline to take to Madrid. But if there's anywhere where a 3-0 scoreline could be turned over, it's the Bernabeu. So let's not treat it like it's done. I think we'll go through. I'm pretty confident, but let's just go get the job done there, get into the semi-final. And look, man, if we can get through Madrid, I think we can get through PSG. Very good team. We beat them already this season, but they didn't have Dembele. They hadn't signed Kvaratskhelia yet. Pacho, their centre-back, young centre-back, I think he's from Ecuador, has been quality since he's come in.
Had Doué as well. What a goal that was.
Doué, quality, keeping Barcola out of the team. They're a serious team now. They're a different team to when we played them. So that'll be a test, man. But can we get through them? On our day, if we turn up. I think Barca might be a step too far. That attack is ridiculous, man. Yamal, Lewandowski, Rafinha, the midfield, Pedri, Gavi, De Jong, serious team, man. Kabasi, Balde, serious team, serious players. But on our day, we can do it. If I had to bet on it now or predict it now, I say we get to the final.
Same as Dan.
There we go. Same as me. Go on in, Guns. What are you telling me?
So phase 1, Hansi Flick with Kabasi, 18 years old. Wow. Lamine Yamal, 17 years old. Casado out injured for the season. Yeah. They've had bare injuries all season. Ansu Fati came on the pitch tonight. We ain't seen him all year. Wow. The next Messi in that. Wow. Youngest squad in the league. Yeah, youngest squad. Phase 1. He could go for a quad. Crazy. And he might actually do it. We are not getting this to the final. If we do, I'll eat humble pie on camera. And if we do get there, I hope we win it. However, if we get Inter, I think we're finished. Yeah, if we get Barcelona, I think they leave too many gaps. They play a stupid, ridiculous high line, but it's tuned that over the season. Because at the start of the season, and let's not forget, they've lost to Leganes. They've lost the same amount of league games, by the way, as Real Madrid. And everyone's saying Real Madrid are crap. They're beatable. Everyone's
got players
beatable.
that turn up in big moments, man. Yamal, we see them do it in the Euros. Lewandowski, Rafinha.
Stand up tonight. Lewandowski scored 40 goals, bro. Yeah, I sat there last season watching La Liga guy, and he's washed. Why? Because there's Xavi there. And I said, there's a scrub. El Sapo, the toad. He looks like a toad. We're not getting to the final.
Everyone gets to the semis, though.
Well, I didn't think we'd beat Madrid. So hopefully I'm wrong all the way. And I eat humble pie, bro. Yeah, because you know what? I'll be fucking happy. Yeah, bro. I put that on for a reason because I came here to celebrate and it's all gone south, bro. Yeah. But I don't think we beat PSG. Yeah, they're a different team, man. If we do and we make the final, fair play. Yeah, but at the same time, remember what DJB said earlier. Yeah, our manager stood there at the end of last season. Do not accept second, guys. Demand extra, guys. We need more, guys. Do not settle for not winning, guys. So when we don't settle for not winning, yeah, we're clowned for it. And look how happy everyone is for beating Real Madrid 3-0 yesterday. Don't you want that every day? Don't you want that every time your team goes out? Because I've seen it with this lot, live and direct in the stadium. Yeah. These guys have seen it. Yeah, I don't know how old you are and whether you was there. My bad. Yeah. However, we've been there. We've seen it. We've done it. Yeah, and I want to feel that, pause. And I want to feel what we felt yesterday, again, pause. Every single time my team goes out there, I want everyone to be shook of us. Yeah, we battered them yesterday. However, PSG, bro, that Cavra, bro, the way he twisted the sassy tonight was filth. Yeah, it was fucking, and the finish was cold.
Why did we not go in for him? Why
market opportunity. He's on less money. He's on less money. He's on less money than Martinelli.
Brilliant Christian, though, isn't there? This is what I'm saying. There's so many signings we could have had, and we just made
I'll never forgive that one, man. I'll never
Been
forgive
there
for letting that
for
one go.
signings.
That was the one I wanted, man. That was the one I wanted.
70
He was
mil.
he was the
Well,
left
if
winger I
that was
wanted.
£60 million.
Mm.
Is that what it
63
is?
mil, yeah.
72,
63 mil.
70, yeah, £63 million.
Paid
That's
65 for Havertz.
what I'm saying. And he's on less money than him as well.
Oh, mate. It's crazy.
Yeah, and do you know what's the crazy thing? Yeah, very quickly, because I know we're going to wrap here. When you look at that team that they have, right? Because I didn't want him at Arsenal, yeah, but then I flip-flopped on him. I kept flip-flopping. I was like, oh, but bruv, look at what he did with MSN and all this. Like, he turned them into the GOATs and all that, yeah? Well, he didn't. Pep and Rijkaard were. Yeah, but that Barca team was evolving under Rijkaard, beat us, then Pep turned them into the best team I've seen. Then he took it. Pedro scored in every final, yeah, or every competition or whatever. It was something stupid, yeah? Bro, when you look at what he's doing at PSG, they got rid of Mbappe. How funny would it be if he goes and wins it and Mbappe's fucked off first season, right? Yeah, but they've got Fabian Ruiz. I told everyone about Fabian Ruiz. Oh, but he's
Top
only
man.
played 4 games. Oh, blah, blah, blah. That's their Busquets. They got Vitinha. Yeah, come on, man.
Baller.
Bro,
Baller.
that
Lewis.
midfield, the only midfield in Europe I think is better than theirs on their day, not overall, is Newcastle's. Newcastle's midfield is fucking insane. How they
Yeah,
pulled that
I
off,
think
by the way, is a
Barcelona's
joke.
better than this.
Yeah,
I think
Pedri's
Pedri,
baller.
Gavi,
Pedri's
De
a baller. Oh, yeah, Pedri's a baller. Frankie de Jong, he had 97 pass accuracy tonight, but I don't particularly rate him. Yeah, and Gavi is a scrub. But my point is, when you look at their team, they've got the MSN in a light version. They got the Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets in a light version. They've then got the defense in a light version. Then the goalkeeper's the weakest link in their team. Yeah, but he's playing the same football he played at Barcelona, and he's got the same kind of players. Yeah, but a lighter version of them. Bro, fair play to him, because I didn't see that coming. When we slapped them, yeah, and it was a slap, and it should have been 5 or 6. Yeah, I didn't see that coming, mate. I can't lie. Look at what he's done. He's won the league invincible already as it stands at this point. Bro, fair play to him. And the best final to look at would be Barca versus PSG. Hopefully we get there, but I don't think we're getting there. I think they're not going to.
PSG is serious. Tonight they took off. Who did they take off? Doué. Who else they took off? They brought on Gonzalo Ramos. They brought on Zaire Emery. They brought on Barca.
Yeah, and
that's 3 top players just on their bench.
And we're looking at Raheem Sterling, Zinchenko, Ben White, Tierney. Yeah. Butler, Odegaard.
Exactly.
Yeah, a couple of goalkeepers.
But
Setford.
these are the things you have to look at, don't you? You've just named the bench, the players they've brought off the bench, and then you look at our bench. And you
How much
just
has he
think,
spent? How long has he been there? 2 years?
Why are we in this position after all these years? Why have we got a bench like that?
He spent less than us.
Mistakes have been made, man.
And they can't say he inherited a world-class team, because he didn't.
No.
He didn't inherit a world-class team, so they can't use that one. Hansi Flick didn't inherit a world-class team. Bunch of kids. What phase are they in?
I don't necessarily disagree. I never said it's perfect. I never said everything's.
No, you ain't, to be fair. You ain't.
No, you're more balanced than Egal. That guy just gets giddy, bruv. Yeah, but you're more aggressive with the way you say things than Egal. Yeah. That's why you both rattled me tonight. But bless up, it was a good stream.
It was.
Love. Listen, people, unbelievable. Lit show. We've had mad numbers tonight. Absolutely crazy. Big ups to every single one of you guys for putting in the super chats and also for your comments and interactions, apart from a few wallies that we had to kick out tonight. But, it is what it is. Big up to DJ. Big up to Kenny. Sorry, they're not wallies. What are they, Kenny? They're called pork chops. That's what they're called. That's the
hey, hang on it. There's Jill now again talking about how many GCSEs people have got again. The Wazzock from last week. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Don't worry, he ain't put his nuts on the table, Kenny. That's the problem. He ain't put his nuts on the table.
I think he's got something bigger than nuts. His GCSEs, maths, English, chemistry. Jesus Christ, mate.
Do you know what? I don't even read the chats while I'm online. It's funny, isn't it? I don't even look at them.
They're hilarious. They're hilarious because you know what it is, yeah, right? Dan, you get this, yeah, right? And I used to get this when I used to go, yeah. Obviously, I live out here now, and you probably get this when you go down there. Oh, what are you saying now then? What are you saying now? Yeah, Potts, what are you saying now?
No,
Yeah,
great.
oh, you're negative. It's like, bro, shut up, man. We just won 3-0. Yeah, like, but at the same time, like I said earlier, if we don't win the tournament, it's just a great night. And we can look back at it and like TT shishing at the Bernabeu, we didn't win it.
It's a nice memory to keep, though. It is a nice memory to keep.
That was
I'll never
unreal.
forget
I'll never
them free kicks, man. I'll never forget them free kicks.
Wait, why the fuck's Odegaard been taking free kicks if he can do that?
Well,
Jesus
do you know
Christ.
what, though? You know, Declan Rice takes the corners, doesn't he? And they're on point all the time. And I've been saying to like the boys and everyone around me, why did he take free? Why are he on the free kicks? Why every week when we get a free kick on the edge of the box? Why ain't Rice on this? Why ain't Rice on this? We've seen what he does with the corners.
Surely it's harder to put a corner on a 6 piece than it is to put a free kick in a corner.
Exactly. And I've been saying it all the time. Look how he takes corners. Why ain't he on the free kicks? And then when he banged in them 2 yesterday,
mate, the second one, fuck off, man. Fuck off. That second one, that's one of the best free kicks I've ever seen, mate.
Dan, sorry, Ken, I know you got to go. What was your end like when that second?
Oh man, like our end's pretty. I'm
Why
block
are you
5.
in, Dan? You clock end or North Bank?
I go block 5 North Bank, so I'm.
Oh yeah, of course you are. You're fucking. So you was looking side onto that, like, kind of.
Mad.
Yeah,
I'm one. Kenny had a side on view.
Yeah,
I'm on the edge of the spot. 1-1-4.
Yeah. I mean, when it went in, I have to admit, it's one of those things where you think, you know what?
Delayed reaction, wasn't it?
No, it's one of those things where you think, please, man, don't lose my phone. Don't smash me glasses.
Hey, Kenny, you're a bear, bro. You'll crush everyone when you jump on them.
Right. The amount of times we celebrated, and I've had to pick people up from falling down seats. Remember the cup final when Cafola scored the first goal? This guy celebrated, and his son got his leg up to one of the seats, and he couldn't be bothered about his son. So instead of had to get his son's leg out of one of the seats. And I was like, Dad, your son's here, mate. Oh, forget him. You sort him out.
One thing about those 2 goals, the VAR has scarred me so much. We scored 2 direct free kicks, and they were still jumping in after they both went in.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they'll find a way. Am I sure this is 100% a goal? And I had to tell myself that was a direct free kick.
They were his first ever free kicks he ever scored in his career, you know.
Yeah, that's insane.
But Christian, you made a good point there, right? Because I've done exactly the same. Because like the VAR, I'm
inside your head saying
VAR. I'm looking like it's going mad.
Oh, maybe somebody threw someone on the floor in the box or something.
Where I sit, that section there, they allocate seats to Real Madrid fans. And 1-1-4. It's the Real Madrid.
Is that up? That's upper tier, right?
Yeah, the upper tier.
And the fuck are they in the upper tier as well, bro? They had off the clock end.
No, because they have their executives and all of that.
Yeah,
they have to give up so many seats for their premium members and all of that. PSG's the same. We had PSG every home game in 1-1-4 in the European side. We have away fans in there.
So you see when it's a Premier League game, they have that little tiny section in the corner. It's about block 27, 26. Yeah, right around the back end. Yeah, they had a third at the clock end. Yeah, and I said it on stream. Yeah, with Matty and Ola. I was like, why is there so many fucking Madrid fans in the clock end? Yeah, because they had that corner that you normally get. Then they had a wrap round. Well, now they're in the upper tier.
Yeah, because that's where they put their
Arsenal sort that out, man.
That's where they put their gold members and all of that, and they allocate they have to. It's the same as when we go away; we get allocated certain seats in the away end as well.
You know, when we go away in Europe, we're never lower tier. These fuckers are lower tier at the Emirates.
We should have stuck them right at the top, but we didn't. We put them down the bottom. It's stupid.
That whole fucking thing was crazy. I see it when we play a normal Prem game,
yeah,
right? They're in that little corner, aren't they? 26, 27, 28, or whatever blocks they are,
yeah.
Right? Then it wraps around to the clock end. They had a third of the clock end. I said it on stream. I was like, why they got so many fans there?
Yeah,
but they don't do that. I didn't know they were in upper tier.
League Cup and FA Cup
games
normally.
Yeah.
Cup games.
League Cup. Yeah.
If we get through to the semi, I'll take a picture of it. Like the away fans, where I sit, about 6, 7, 8 rows down.
They're in front of you. In with the home fans.
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy.
Swear down.
No, Arsenal needs to fix that.
100%. Honestly, I swear. Yeah.
No,
And
fuck them.
DJ,
Yeah,
you
fuck
were
them.
talking
Stick them
about
in the toilets.
You said something about, because I mentioned the VAR. You were going to say something about the away fans and the VAR or something.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I'm looking at it, and the away fans are like looking up and they're going as if they'd seen something on VAR or something, praying that it was going to like be disallowed, and we're all going nuts. But in all credit to us, they were like shaking their hands and
They're cool. Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, they
that
were
was the same as
shaking their
Osterson.
It's all cool. There's nothing bad up there, but
we got there early, right? Proper early at King's Cross. Went and Santa drink. The pub is absolutely, and I mean full to the brim with Real Madrid fans, and I've got the so
which boozer was it, Dan? Which boozer?
Right. The Rocket.
Okay,
Cross, right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I walk in there. They all start giving it like tongue-in-cheek stuff. Anyway, I look behind me and like there's a window, and they're just all out there. One of them's got a bottle of Grey Goose and he's necking it. The other one's got Captain Morgan Spice rum that he's just passing around. Right, absolutely mad, and they're screaming and screaming, shouting. They're coming in. Half of them have got Bellingham on their back and all that sort of thing.
Bellingham, Jude, and Mbappe. They're the three names they have.
They're the ones, man.
Me as well.
They're the ones, but they were great. They were good as gold. They were fun. They were a laugh, you know.
Yeah, but do you know what it is? Did they do the 3 kilometer walk? You know, they always do the 3 kilometer thing, yeah. Right, like the Dutch fans do it. Osterson did it. Do you remember me and the Pratt and the At Kenny got caught up with the Osterson fans when they do their 3 kilometer walk? They were good as gold. Osterson fans, bless up to them. We was in with their 3 kilometer walk, walking to the stadium. Yeah, they were insane. Do you remember
days, that was?
All right, mate. Fucking, do you remember that? Fucking, we slapped them. Ozil played away, -15. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, -15. Right, and we was there, right, and then the second leg, we were like, "Fuck, they're 2-0 up. We might bottle this here." That was fucking awesome. Yeah.
That's what Arteta's done, man. Osterson's to Real Madrid. Look at the difference.
This guy.
There we go.
This guy.
Loves it.
Mic drop.
Pick him up.
People, big up to all of you, man. Big up to Kenny, big up to DJ, big up to Lee, big up to Christian. We've hit 37k, people.
Is there anyone live then?
3k off. It's going to be Hussam. Yeah, he asked me. So it's going to be Hussam. He said beg. So he's going to send over to him. And big up to Rants earlier for the raid. Big up to you guns as well for the raid. Do appreciate that, guys. We've had unbelievable numbers tonight. So we're only 3k off 40. So let's get up to the big 4-0, man. Make sure you're following Christian. Make sure you're following Egal. Make sure you're following Lee Reacts. Make sure you're following Kenny Ken and DJ as well. And listen, guys, go spam. What are we spamming over at Hassam's chat, by the way, Lee?
No. What did he say? He said we had no chance. In fact, we can't even rate. We are going to rate him. Salah and flipping Van Dijk are staying, aren't they?
They are, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Egal, he rage quit, and he said they'll still have a fall off regardless. Yeah, I've bookmarked that and screenshot it. Yeah, it's Liverpool. What are we saying to them?
Liverpool win the worst Premier League title in.
Hashtag. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Dan. I'll send you the clip. You need to play it when it comes into your chat. Yeah. There's a clip of him when Slot got the job. Yeah.
Oh, I love
saying slot out. Hashtag slot out. Type hashtag slot out.
There we go. They're all
Dan Rage. Dan Rage. Hashtag slot out. Dan Rage.
Hashtag slot out. Dan Potts raid. There we go. 12-man raid. Dan Potts raid. Hashtag slot out. Make sure you do that, people. Look, we're getting out of here. We'll see you next time. Take it easy and up the Arsenal. Laters.
All the best, guys.